na kulisha taifa kwa ujumla.
Tazama Mkulima kila Jumamosi saa 10:30
ambapo kilimo na fursa zinapatikana.
Mkulima, tuko hapa kwa ajili yako.
It is yet another beautiful morning. It is the 13th day of January, the year being 2026. This is Good Morning Kenya. Welcome to the program. I am here together with my colleagues. Mike Megwe is here, and we also have Marie Yambo. And good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. Yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. It's a great morning.
It's a great morning for sure. Marie, how are you doing? Have you been keeping up with Aisha Speed still?
Oh, yeah, yesterday. Yeah, he was in Masai Mara, so yeah, I got to watch his tour there.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think he's a very adventurous person.
For sure.
Because for him to even, indulge in the traditional, can I say, foods and all that, in most cases people will be like, no, I've never tried this. But it was a good tour, I want to believe, and just exposing the Kenyan culture. I know we have different, cultures, but yes, I guess that was the nearest place he could go to and just showcase what Kenya has. And just going to Masai Mara, and I remember when he was in Botswana, I think it's in Botswana, where he was a little bit, I think, disappointed he didn't see the lion. So yesterday, I think, was the epitome of it.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. And, we will be getting into everything concerning politics right here on the show, as well as we get to know what is happening or what is making headlines on our newspapers. But before all of that, allow me to introduce you to the topic that I will be having today. As today is a Tuesday, we will be talking matters health. And today's conversation is one that has really, really intrigued me. And I'm sure that you will also be interested to get to know more about this. We're talking about longevity and genes. Is it possible that your genes may be the reason or maybe behind your lifespan? Do your genes affect how long you're going to live on this earth? That is the conversation we will be having, and I will be talking to one Samuel Oliech Omolo. He is a PhD researcher and the founding director of the Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences. This is one that I'm really, really looking forward to get into, so better link up with us at around 9 a.m. for that conversation. Mike, what will you be having today?
We'll be looking at the president's tour of the mountain, given that he's gone back there almost a year since last year, March, when he had gone there. He's been saying that he's there on a working trip, and one of the things that he said that he's ready to face the opposition and deal with them as early as morning in the next general election. But remember that this is the backyard of one Rigathi Gachagua, and it's going back in a time when political temperatures in that area are rising. And Rigathi Gachagua is trying to wrestle that, to wrestle all the votes and rally the mountain not to back the president in the upcoming general election. So today we are looking at the mountain factor, development or politics. That is the topic that we will be looking at. And I will be having Honorable Kennedy Obuya, who is the UDA chairman, Homa Bay County, and Wakili Peter Wasaga, who is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. Away from that, I want to give you a quote to start your day. Every morning brings new potential, but only if you take action. Every morning brings new potential, but only if you take action. That is a quote by Kelly Russell Agadon. Good morning, Marie.
Good morning to you, Mike, and of course to all of you joining us from across the country. My name is Marie Yambo, and definitely I'll be bringing you up to speed with matters news. You know, President Ruto is still on a development tour there of the central region, Mount Kenya region. My colleague Giverson Maina is on that beat, and we'll be linking up with him later in our bulletins later in the day. And you know what, Mike, you asked whether it's politics or development, but I think they all go hand in hand.
Yeah.
You know, there is no development without politics. Yeah, and some of us who are not political, can I say, reporters, we always say, oh, stucky politics. But I've come to learn there's politics in everything, even in our own homes, yeah?
Politics is everywhere.
You know?
Politics is everywhere.
Exactly. So thank you so much once again for making time for us. Let's begin the news where President William Ruto has defended the Nyota initiative against claims that it cannot solve Kenya's unemployment problem. The president, who presided over the launch of disbursement of Nyota Business Startup Capital to over 6,000 youths from the Mount Kenya West region, said his opponents have no development record to present to Kenyans less than 2 years to the general elections. Giverson Maina now reports.
Ruto and his Kenya Kwanza brigade on Monday pitched tent in Nyeri County for a second day. The president presided over the distribution of Nyota Business Capital to 6,982 young entrepreneurs drawn from Nyandarua, Murang'a, Kirinyaga and Nyeri counties. Each of the beneficiaries received 22,000 shillings via mobile money.
Hiyo ni pesa ambayo mmepatiwa na wananchi na serikali ya Kenya.
Niko na kiosk, unga tu na mchele, soda, but I'm planning hapo nje nijenge ka kibanda hapo, niongeze mali na niende makaa.
Haki ni serikali ikuletee maneno kama haya, lakini ni jukumu yako pia ujitokeze, ushikilie hii opportunity, ujiendeleze. Mifano iko mingi ya watu ambao walianza chini kama nyinyi na wameendelea.
The head of state used the platform to push back claims by Wiper's Kalonzo Musyoka and his opposition allies that the Nyota initiative is a mere handout.
Unajua shida hii ya Kenya for a long time, anything that is done inafanywa na lenses ya siasa, siasa kidogo. Ndio mimi naona ndugu zangu wengine hapo wanajaribu kusema president ameenda anapatia vijana 50,000 kwa sababu anataka kuwahonga. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize vijana wa hapa, muliulizwa mkue wa chama fulani ndio mkuja hapa?
Even as we express our views, let us love our country, let us protect our nation, let us not harm the interest of our country.
The president also commissioned the PCA Nyamashaki Comprehensive School in Nyeri Town before inspecting the Marua interchange, where he addressed the residents, telling off the opposition figures of a contest for the influence of the Mount Kenya region.
Hapa nimejenga makanisa na nyinyi. Hapa tumejenga barabara na nyinyi. Hapa tumefanya mambo mengi pamoja na nyinyi. Ati kuna mtu anaweza kusema atakuja kuharibu urafiki tumejenga kwa miaka 20 ati haribu kwa mwaka moja? Hiyo inawezekana?
The first in command sustaining attacks on the opposition, saying they are yet to present any tangible agenda to the country with less than 2 years to the general elections.
Si nyinyi ndio mnaamua kura ya mjumbe? Si nyinyi ndio mnaamua kura ya gavana? Si nyinyi ndio mnachagua rais? Ni kweli ama si kweli? Huku Nyeri mtu anachaguliwa kwa sababu ya sura ama kwa sababu ya kazi? Mtu anachaguliwa kwa sababu ya kabila ama kwa sababu ya kazi? Mtu anachaguliwa kwa sababu ya vitimbi ama kwa sababu ya kazi?
Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
The president also officially opened the Karatina Marigiti Modern Market before inspecting Karatina Affordable Housing Project.
President William Ruto says his administration has put down solid plans on how to create job employment opportunities for the Kenyan youth, while also slamming the opposition figures who says the Nyota Initiative Fund is too little for business.
Thank you, Giverson Maina. We'll be joining Giverson Maina, as I said, later on in the day, just to get to know what's happening there in as far as the president's tour of the Mount Kenya region. And my colleagues are still in studio. Mike and Vivian, what do you think of the Nyota program? The president has been, going around the country, just, launching the program, and, the youths there getting some money to start their businesses, and I think they're receiving 22,000 shillings.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've been seeing and hearing. What do you think, though?
I think for me, empowerment. From a point of empowerment, I think it's a welcome move. Anyone who receives that money and they have something that they need to start, this is a very good seed money. 22,000 is a lot of money if you look at it from a business perspective and starting something from where I stand. I think this is something that anyone who can get access to it and with a legit business idea, it's a springboard. It will not sort you. It cannot sort all your bills, but it's a springboard to start something that will keep you for the rest of your life.
I'm just wondering what kind of business?
It depends. I had someone say they are going to start a mamamboga business, like groceries and all that. That is good seed money.
Yeah, you can also start with a smoky and my eye business as well,
Exactly.
with that amount of money. My take on the Nyota program is, I mean, one of the biggest problems we have in this country has to be youth unemployment. That is one of the biggest. It's actually sort of a crisis, so many youths out here who are unemployed. There are no jobs for the young people. So when we have such an initiative whereby there's this amount of money, though some may regard it as little money, it's fine. I mean, it's relative. For you, it may be little. For another person, it may be a lot of money. So for those who really need it, and they get to get it, I really feel like for those who really need this money, and this money gets to get to their accounts or to their pockets, it's a good thing for them, and it is going to be one of the ways that we can assist in, or the government can work towards curbing that youth unemployment. Because now, if you get that money that you really need and you decide to start your business, then we are less one person who's unemployed, because now you're self-employed, you do your own business. So I feel it's a good initiative for those who really need that amount. For those who feel like it's little, that's fine. But for those who need
like
it,
they said, there's no little or a lot of money. It's just how you plan it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it could be much, but still you're not planning it well. So thank you, guys. We want to continue with the news, and we go to the grade 10 reporting, where the inaugural grade 10 class reported to their respective senior schools across the country for the start of the 2026 academic year. A spot check by KBC across various schools revealed a seamless registration exercise, with most day schools recording a low turnout. However, as some learners reported to school, some parents were still seeking spots at the various senior schools.
The Kenya High School in Nairobi County. Teachers, parents and learners are up and down on the first day of reporting to grade 10. By 1 p.m., the school had already admitted 400 students against the 780 that had received admission letters.
Up to now, we still have parents coming to school. They still want to secure a vacancy at the Kenya High School. But we cannot admit all students because of the facilities.
I've spoken to a few learners, I've spoken to a few parents. They are settling in well.
Once you are done with the admission, you go and meet teachers who can guide the child on which pathway to take. So that's a very crucial stage, because most schools don't do that.
At Pangani Girls in Nairobi, the process is seamless, with the school administration recording 350 students against the target of 700 by 2 p.m. on Monday.
There's a lot of planning that has gone in place to ensure that every area where we may get stuck is identified, and we work on it.
We've had a bit of challenges to do with the the digital placement, but we are guiding the parents accordingly.
The challenges so far we have had is on the replacements. After the first admissions to the senior school, we have a challenge on the replacements, but eventually we got the school here.
At Trangala Girls in Siaya County, Chief Principal Susan Owino said there were 600 students expected to join the 10th grade.
We are well prepared for the CBC, the CBE. Our teachers have been trained, and a majority of them were trained over December holidays, and they already know what is required of them. But even though they were trained, I want to say that we lack teachers in certain areas, and we believe that Teacher Service Commission will do something in that line.
At Nanyuki High School in Laikipia County, over 200 students were admitted on Monday, with the number expected to hit 700 by the end of the week.
Tumefurahia juu tumefanyiwa na standard ya haraka sana. Hatukukaa.
Tomorrow we still expect another number, again a good number to come at even the course of the day. By the end of the week, that's when we expect now to have reached our target.
A similar exercise is ongoing at Meru School.
The current system, the CBE, each and every student, all our people, has a chance.
So many parents are not happy because we do not have that ability of accepting everyone. The ministry gave us a 720, and from the system, already it is full.
At Moi Kabartonjo High School in Baringo North, the exercise was seamless.
Kijana yangu ameniambia yeye mwenyewe ya kwamba anakuja kusomea science kwa hii shule, na nilifurahia kama mzazi. Alafu ile kitu nilifurahia tena ni mtoto mwenyewe amejichagulia kitu ile anapenda kwa moyo wake.
That's who are still pending on the system, who are waiting to be approved. A few have been declined, but majority have been approved by the ministry.
However, at most day schools, the turnout was low on the first day.
We have only received 10 fully admitted, and we hope the rest will be coming as from tomorrow. It has been a trend with day schools such that the turn-up normally is low. In the past, it reached a point now whereby even at times the chief mops up the students to bring them to the day schools.
Despite the challenges surrounding placement to grade 10, a section of schools across the country received a significant number of learners on the first day, with more expected in the course of the week. Nancy Okware, reporting from Kenya High School, Nairobi.
Thank you, Nancy Okware, for that report. Of course, grade 10 students continue to report to school, and in case of anything, we'll still be bringing you up to speed with what is happening as far as the registration and reporting is concerned. We look at politics now, where the Orange Democratic Movement, ODM, will open negotiations with the ruling party, the United Democratic Alliance, UDA, with the aim of forming a pre-election coalition with President William Ruto, who will be seeking re-election. A Central Management Committee meeting convened by party leader Oburu Oginga resolved that he commences the process of initiating structured negotiations with President Ruto's party, with the National Delegates Conference expected to ratify the decision once the process is complete. Once again, differences between the party played out as Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and one of the deputy party leaders, Geoffrey Osose, missed the meeting.
The meeting, convened in Kilifi, brought together the top honchos of the party amid escalating tensions within its ranks over the future of the party. Though there were other resolutions from the meeting, as read out by party leader Senator Oburu Odinga, which included the assessment of the party's 20-year anniversary celebrations and its performance during the November by-elections, the contentious issues that have led to sharp divisions within the party leadership were among the major resolutions. The divisions were evident as the party leader struggled to explain the absence of Secretary General Edwin Sifuna and Deputy Party Leader Godfrey Osotsi, both opposed to supporting President Ruto's re-election bid.
Honorable Sosi, who is the deputy party leader, is in South Africa, and he has sent his apologies for being unable to attend. He tried to travel, but he was unable to. Honorable Sifuna also sent his apologies for this meeting. He missed his flight. And so both of them have the permission of the committee to be absent.
The party announced that it has resolved to prepare for the 2027 general elections and would immediately kickstart engagement with the ruling party.
The committee meeting expressed the intention to initiate structured negotiations with different political formations, beginning with the United Democratic Alliance. To this end, we have mandated the party leader to commence this process. Concurrently, consultations with party members will proceed, culminating in the National Delegates Convention.
While dismissing the tensions in the party, terming them internal democracy, the party announced its backing of the compensation of protest victims through constitutional means, with the courts having annulled the establishment of a compensation panel by President William Ruto.
The committee resolved to propose that any compensation monies be channeled through the constitutionally and legally recognized institutions, specifically the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights.
Leaders drawn from Kakamega County, Osotsis backyard, have backed the pre-election coalition talks between UDA and ODM, even as they rallied the region to unite for posterity.
Nataka sisi tuwe pamoja kwa serikali ya William Ruto. Kwa hivyo tutachagua wawili kutoka kwa hawa, waende huko waangalie maslahi yetu katika ile negotiation ya between ODM na UDA.
Wale wanaoleta mzozo kwa ODM, kwa UDA, tuombe rais akae na wao waweze kufanya coalition mzuri, so that mahali baba alituacha pawe pazuri, hii malumbano ishe. Dr. Oburu Odinga, my party leader, katika ile kamati ya negotiation na UDA, lazima sisi Kakamega tukue kwa hiyo.
A look at business, where rice farmers at the Karaba section of the Mwea irrigation scheme are now recording increased rice production following improved and steady water supply. The boost in output follows the lining of the irrigation canals, improving water efficiency and expanding the acreage of land under irrigation, leading to higher annual rice production.
Kenya currently produces about 304,000 metric tons of rice annually, against a national demand of approximately 1.3 million metric tons. This, coupled with an inconsistent water supply, has limited production to a single cropping season each year. However, following the completion of Thiba Dam, water availability has since increased, easing irrigation challenges. Higher water volumes have increased cropping seasons from 1 to 3 annually.
Canal lining iko na faida kubwa sana kwa sababu maji yanatembea haraka, hakuna seepage na hakuna maji inazuiwa na magugu.
Farmers say the expansion of the Mwea irrigation scheme has improved livelihoods, created employment opportunities, and strengthened household incomes across the region. They add that increased rice production will play a key role in enhancing national food security and reducing Kenya's reliance on imported rice.
Ikikunja na wingi, hii mchere kutoka nje itakuwa inatoka nje, tutakuwa tunatumia hii sababu maji ni mengi.
The project, managed by the State Department for Irrigation through the National Irrigation Authority, has also put in place measures to ensure equitable distribution of water among farmers, especially during dry seasons.
Tangu Kanaro ikorogwe na Chinese inafanya mzuri njuu maji inakunja kwa haraka sana. Kama ni mbondi ikitufungulia maji inaharakisha, inaweza fungua leo na ifike leo. Hapo naona National Irrigation Board hapo wamefikiria mzuri, wamefikiria mkulima wa Mwea.
We look at sports where the national under-17 girls national team, the Junior Starlets, have learned their route to the 2026 FIFA under-17 Women's World Cup following the official draw conducted over the weekend in Rabat, that is in Morocco. The Junior Starlets will kick off their campaign in the first round against Namibia in a two-legged tie. The first leg is scheduled for the 10th to the 12th of April, with a return leg set for the 17th to the 19th of April. If Kenya advances, they will face the winner between Zimbabwe and Uganda in the second round in May. The third and final round will see the winner of the Zimbabwe or Uganda versus Namibia or Kenya tie face the winner from the matchup involving Botswana or Tanzania against the Central African Republic or South Africa, with a place at the World Cup at stake. And of course, the Africa Cup of Nations continues tomorrow in Morocco, and Senegal will be facing, that is Egypt, at around 8 o'clock tomorrow. Nigeria will be facing Morocco at 11 o'clock. So for those who can watch, that match will be getting down, or at least those matches will be getting down tomorrow. It's the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations. My name is Marie Yambo. I'll be ending the news right there. My colleague, Mike Migwe, will be continuing with Good Morning Kenya.
Umepanga kuniangamiza kabisa?
Hiyo familia unachukia ni familia yangu.
Nimekuja na kakitu tusherekee.
Doc amesema ukimaliza uende usign contract yako.
Wewe. Hiyo kitu ambacho ulikuwa umechimba hapo toa. Usinipime wazimu wangu.
Kila kitu anatutakia kitamrudia.
Really, I have so many patients. Just go straight to the point. What did I tell you?
Sorry, Doc.
Wedi.
Wewe sema kitu imekuleta hapa.
Kitu iko sawa. Karibu sana, karibu kiasi kiserikali, unajua haishindi na jambo lolote.
Mamba alionekana usiku wa kuamkia leo.
You think that I love him and that I would do anything to save him. However, let me make this clear. I despise the man.
Who are you trying to fool, Mom? I know you're interested in him. Honey,
Just admit it.
You are interested in him.
Fine then.
I'm very much interested in him.
It's that easy? The investigation's still open, so we need to be able to find you easily. That means you can't leave the city anytime soon, nor do whatever it is you want. That goes for your father as well. Do me a favor, and make sure he gets the message.
But I hate the fact that she has everything, while I have nothing.
Well, you're watching Good Morning Kenya. Welcome back. My name is Mike Migwe. Today being a Tuesday, it's all about people and politics. The president is on the mountain on a development and working tour. Everything is going on there. And yesterday he officiated the handing of the matters to do with Nyota program that targets over 6,000 youths within that region in the counties of Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, And as that is going on, we cannot fail to read the political aspect of that. That will be coming up in just a little bit. We shall be looking at that. But before we get into that, allow me to take you through the front pages of our local dailies. And I'm going to start with the Star newspaper. Counties drown in 8 billion shillings bank loans amid financial crisis. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Counties weighed down by bank facilities include Vihiga, Laikipia, Nyandarua, Machakos, Nairobi, Homa Bay, Kisumu. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper. Could high-fat cheese cream protect brain from dementia? For decades, people have been told to avoid high-fat foods. Cheese, cream, butter, all whispered warnings in conversations about health. But new study challenging that narrative suggests indulging in rich, creamy dairy might do more than satisfy the taste bud. It could also protect the brain. That story is told on page 9 of the Star newspaper. Rival ODM and UDA hopefuls spell doom for coalition dream. The prospect of competing candidates in ODM and UDA camps is emerging as one of the biggest headaches for coalition strategists, with fears that internal competition could hand rivals an unintended advantage in key battlegrounds. Read that story in detail on page 7 of the Star newspaper. In matters health, Kenya to roll out once in 6 months HIV prevention jab. That story is fleshed out on page 2 of the Star newspaper. Go-getter sweeping Mombasa clean street by street. That matters regards waste management and is told on page 11 of the Star newspaper. Crossing over to the Standard, Ruto Owalo game. This is what is captured right there. When a deputy chief of staff whose level in government protocols is understood to be at the cabinet level announced his departure, the message was interpreted in many ways. One interpretation is that this was not a routine administrative shuffle. Observers now believe that either the office he was serving in was dysfunctional or that Eliud Owalo is being dispatched to play a role in the larger 2027 Ruto matrix. Only a few have accepted Owalo's claim that left President Ruto's office to contest the presidency in 2027. That story is told in detail on page 4, and it has captured just the sentiments of some of the leaders regarding matters to do with Owalo's announcement that he will be gunning for presidency in the upcoming general election in 2027. On the front page of the Daily Nation, ODM decides. Officials say the Orange Party must declare its 2027 elections stand this year. The Orange Democratic Movement's Central Management Committee has sanctioned pre-election coalition talks with the ruling United Democratic Alliance, taking steps towards formalizing a deal to back President Ruto's re-election campaign in exchange for a share of government positions should the coalition win in the next election. That story is told on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. Hitches on first day of senior school admissions. That is a story that is being told on page 10 and 11 regarding the senior school admissions. Grade 10 learners began reporting to senior school yesterday, with some institutions reporting a low turnout amid complaints by parents about varied admission requirements, demands for extra fees and inadequate facilities, including laboratories, dormitories. Some head teachers also cited a shortage of teachers for new subjects and delays to distribute textbooks. However, school managers said they will admit learners throughout the week. That is a story told on page 10 and 11 of the Daily Nation. How nurse saved a life mid-flight. Irene Jepchirchir was jolted by a distress call in a United Airlines flight headed for Boston, United States, asking whether there was a medical professional. Read that story in detail on page 3 of the Daily Nation. And finally, Healthy Nation, pesticides killing Kenyans. A new investigation reveals how banned and highly toxic chemicals smuggled through porous borders are claiming farmers' lives and poisoning the food chains. Read that story on page 12 of the Daily Nation. That is what is being reported on the front pages of our local dailies. And now we get into today's matters of conversation. And in studio, I'm joined by Honorable Kennedy Obuya, who is the UDA chair, Homa Bay County. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
How are
Mike.
you doing?
I thank God. I'm grateful I'm alive.
Yes.
And we have a peaceful nation.
Yeah.
We don't take that for granted.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to get your comment, especially regarding the front page of the Daily Nation. ODM decides. ODM, the Orange Democratic Movement Central Management Committee has sanctioned the pre-election coalition talks with the ruling United Democratic Alliance, taking a step towards formalizing a deal to back President Ruto's re-election campaign in exchange for a share of government positions should the coalition win in the next elections. What's your take?
Political parties are formed to form government. And I believe historically the late party leader for ODM,
yes,
that's what he stood for. And it's on record that many times, either post or pre election, yes, every election cycle, he normally he's had always a way of being part of government, and that's allowed. And from the statements made consistently by the current acting party leader for ODM, Dr. Buru Oginga, he's also been mentioned widely that what he stands for is not to defy the gestures that was made by his predecessor of having an election pact with Dr. William Samoei Ruto's government. And I want to tell you that that is a good gesture enough that ODM leadership is willing. Either way, both functions, they are both willing to be part of the next government. So I would authoritatively say that as UDA members, that's a good gesture. That's a good gesture.
A good sign for 2027.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. If you look at all sides of the divide, either one side is saying we want to have this before we sign a pact with William Ruto.
Yes.
That's a gesture that they're willing.
Yes.
And the other side are also saying that we are already in government through the gestures of 2024 of broad-based steps. And we will have a sitting before election. And I think that is the spirit led by our party leader, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. We are the United Democratic Alliance. We believe in alliances. Yes.
And given whatever that is going on in ODM, do you see it affecting how that will turn out in the lead up to the 2027 elections? How do you see that affecting the whole essence of the broad-based government from your perspective?
Historically, when the head of any institution dies, normally expectations of push and pull for personal interest, institutional interest of individuals who want to lead that institution normally comes up. That's very normal. we see that in ODM. ODM is not isolated. And ODM, with time, we pray and we believe they will come out of that. How I pray that happens fast, so that they have order and acceptance with the new leadership. And I want to tell you that either way, ODM, led by Dr. Burudinga and Dr. William Ruto's UDA and Kenya Kwanza, we love a way forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. Let's get into today's conversation. And the president has been on the mountain since Sunday on a working tour. This comes almost 1 year since his last visit there last year, March. But since then, the political landscape has changed.
Yes.
Because it has changed since the impeachment of the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. In as much as this is a development and a working tour, what does it mean politically?
William Ruto is a political animal. He's been around. He's someone who has grown through the political ladder. He's been around. He mentioned earlier when he took over the mantle of the presidency,
yes,
when there was some exchange between him and late Jirongo, that my brother, nimekubali nilikuwa mtu wa mkono yako, but for now nimekajipanga na saizi niko hapa. That is testimony that is someone who has grown politically through all the cadres, from kutoka mtu wa mkono to becoming the head of state. And I want to tell you that William Ruto is not a weak politician. He's been around when President Moi was there. He defied the President Kibaki's government strongly from his steps in the 2005 referendum and the 2007 election. He defied his good friend Raila Odinga, and in 2013, and he formed government with President Uhuru Kenyatta. And in 2022, against all odds, with nearly zero logistics, he came out strongly with a goodwill. And being informed, President Ruto knows very well the political terrain. The African democracy practice, there are some important situations that you, as a presidential candidate, you must be cognizant of. One of them being ethnical formations. That's a reality in African democracy. And Dr. Ruto is informed that nobody can ignore the Mount Kenya voting bloc. And him having been a direct beneficiary of the goodwill of the Mount Kenya people. So far, William Ruto is informed that something happened. There was a disagreement between him and his former deputy president, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua. That does not mean that he is locked out. Mount Kenya is part of Kenya. And Mount Kenya's voting bloc is very important to the stability and continuity of Kenya Kwanza government and the entire nation, just like all other voting blocks in the Kenya are important to William Ruto. So I don't think William Ruto wants to leave anybody behind. And he has all the rights to engage individuals, the political elite, including and not limited to individual citizens within Mount Kenya region. He will engage everyone in Mount Kenya. And I believe the by-election in Mount Kenya, was it Mbere?
Yes, Mbere North.
Mbere North. The outcome is testimony enough that William Ruto and Dr. Professor Abraham Kindiki, they mean business.
What about the UDA grassroots elections that were happening over the weekend in areas of Mount Kenya?
Yes.
The low turnout. Is that also an indication of a waning popularity of the party and by extension,
yes,
the party leader, that is Dr. William Ruto, who is the president?
How do you term a good exercise in Mount Kenya, low turnout, having the general populace of Mount Kenya having been incited and mobilized and whipped against a UDA government, I believe that was good gesture from the people of Mount Kenya, that as much as the general populace had been whipped against William Ruto, and still there's quite a good number of citizens of Mount Kenya who are willing to be part of UDA government, which is actually their party and their government. Yes.
You know, when you look at Mount Kenya, and actually, Nyeri, it's the backyard of the former deputy president.
Yes.
And actually, that is where the president started his tour from. And he's saying that he did dismiss the slogans that have been used, the one-term brigade there, saying that he built friendships during past functions. And he's the one who, the kind of a relationship that they have with Mount Kenya is was built by him and no one helped him. Do you see that happening again, given that there is some level of open apathy to some idea of having the president getting votes from that region?
Historically, the voting pattern in Mount Kenya has been clearly shown. The Mount Kenya people, the citizens of Mount Kenya, people are very well informed. Number one, you know, people from my backyard, normally we have had a culture of being anti-government. And it's testimony from the three last successive governments that citizens of Mount Kenya are people who have really shown that they don't want to be outside government. And I want to tell you that either way, both the political elite and the citizens, the normal wananchi from Mount Kenya, I want to inform you that none of them want to be in the opposition. And being that the developments in Kenya now, Mount Kenya will be part of this government, either after election of William Ruto or before re-election of William Ruto. Yes.
And even he did say that the board cannot be shaken by petty politics, falsehoods, and noise. Is that the case?
You know, somebody said that if you want to kill a dog, you give it a bad name. William Ruto has been profiled, has been labeled from the time he was minister. He was mentioned to be a thief, and including Rigi G, you know, and many political elite who now does not see from the same lens with Dr. Ruto. When Uhuru Kenyatta tried to market Dr. Ruto, I mean Dr. Raila, in central Kenya, Mount Kenya region, we all saw them saying that huyo Ruto hata kama ni mwizi ndio wetu. So what changed when they were informed then, and they said that they have so many names on William Ruto, but we are still going to vote for him. How do you come back again and profile and label the same person that a few years ago you are cognizant that society and a quarter in Kenya of political elite already had profiled him? So I just want to make a prayer that Mount Kenya, this country, you're part of this nation, be part of this government. It is your government. You contributed heavily the price of bringing Kenya Kwanza UDA government. This is your government. Please come back home.
Now, we've seen Mount Kenya, towards 2022, Jubilee was the dominant party in that region. Now we have DCP, we have other parties like DP, we have Moses Kuria, CCK. Do you see them dwindling the chances of UDA clinching seats? Or how do you see that affecting the politics within that region in terms of how many seats the parties could get?
With the repealing of Section 2A, in 1990, 1991, towards 1992 elections, with the introduction of multi-party politics, Mount Kenya has been the only region with the highest number of political parties actively involved in elections in the entire republic. We have witnessed from civic politics to now the present 2010 constitution of regional county government politics. In Mount Kenya, we have had so many people getting elected from different political parties. But at the national level, we somehow Mount Kenya has pulled towards a particular goal for community gain. And I don't think it is news that we have new political formations in Mount Kenya. When in regards to national politics, I think Mount Kenya will somehow find a way to be part of government. Yes.
How sure are you that this and the charm offensives of UDA party leader, that is the president, will be at the expected results, so to speak, with regards to or within the lead up to the general elections? Because this is not the first or the last time he'll be going back to Mount Kenya. So how do you see that changing anything?
William Ruto, like I mentioned earlier, is a political animal. William Ruto is a go-getter. I want to assure you, that gentleman will be in every door. He will camp in Mount Kenya, he will engage the people directly, he will engage the sons and daughters who have influence in Mount Kenya.
The same as 2022, when he used to do political gatherings almost every weekend.
It will be much stronger than 2022. This is a time that William Ruto feels is cornered. This is a time that William Ruto wants to make a point that is the president and he means well for this nation. William Ruto has been shown to believe that we are all part of this nation and it is important to have all Kenyans on board. If William Ruto could deal with Raila Odinga, what makes you think William Ruto cannot have a sitting with Rigathi Gachagua before elections or even after
Is that a possibility?
It is a one thing that is constant in politics and African democracy is interest and the interest of people that you lead. I don't think that Rigathi Gachagua is also is a seriously upcoming political player, and I don't think either way he may have an arrangement, either before this election or immediately after this election. Take that to the bank.
Do you think he has made an impact, especially within the mountain area, regarding his calls to have the region not back President Ruto in 2027?
It takes a good politician like William Ruto and myself to know that you cannot ignore someone in the stature of Rigathi Gachagua. He's a key player in the modern politics of the republic, and that's why UDA will camp in Mount Kenya. We will engage everybody, including Rigathi Gachagua.
How would that look like, and from what perspective would that start?
I mentioned that politics is all about interest of the people that you lead, interest of the stability and continuity of our nation. That would require that, at times you may make unpopular decisions. And if the continuity and stability of Kenya becomes number one, then self-interest and individual party interests may be shelved aside so that stability and continuity of Kenya as a nation moves forward. So if uniting Kenya and the stability of Kenya's republic requires that William Ruto sits down with Rigathi Gachagua, we will do that, and I believe that is what William Ruto stands for. Kenya must be united.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed. Let me also say that we are joined by Wakili Peter Wasaga, who is an advocate of the High Court. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Umekuwa aje?
Niko salama. I'm glad to be back.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here in 2026.
Yes.
It's a very interesting year. At least the economy will start opening up. Because politicians, as usual, what they withheld, they'll start releasing it to the economy, to the voters, who, of course, they have the formula of getting them into their box. And that is tokenism. So expect a lot of changes. Expect a lot of shift in allegiance and alliances. I agree with my brother that politics, there are two constants in politics. And one of such constants is interests. Where your bread and butter lies, that is where you sing and you praise. The other one is betrayal. No, there are no permanent friends in politics, and there are no permanent enemies. Only permanent interests. The third thing that I also need to mention is that we are going to see a lot of surprises, because the Raila factor is no longer in the Kenyan politics. So with Raila factor not being in Kenyan politics, especially the 2027 election, there are so many horses and donkeys at the same time who will show up themselves. And perhaps this election will have the highest number of contestants in the seat of the presidency. But now the main thing that we need to ask ourselves is, what do they bring to the table?
All right. All right. We continue on that point, but we'll do that after this short break. Stay with us.
I know. I was wrong.
Why are you coming back?
To see you. I miss you. We're not at your place, and no one's here to arrest me. So it must be important.
He's told me he's moved on, but I can feel it's still affecting him up to now.
But no one's made trouble lately.
What's going on?
He didn't say, though he didn't look happy.
Greetings in the name of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. My good name is Marley Moses, the Positive Warrior, alongside...
Yes, sir, DJ D-Rage, the baddest. Each and every Wednesday from 10 p.m. on KBC Channel 1 TV.
Tunakuletea the biggest reggae party in 254 in a yard extra. Extra niceness of reggae music.
Extra dose of entertainment.
When the thing is nice,
we have to do it twice.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Still watching Good Morning Kenya. My name is Mike Megwe. Welcome back. This is People and Politics, and we are looking at the president's tour in the mountains, the development or politics. I'm having this conversation with Wakili Peter Wasaga, who is an advocate of the High Court, and also Honorable Kennedy Obuya, who is the UDA chairman, Homa Bay County. Wakili, there's something you said about what we shall be seeing, the surprises that will be there, and what leaders are bringing to the table.
Exactly. You see, when you decide to run for a political seat, there are things that you must first understand. And if I may put them in their order, is the acceptance and the popularity. The acceptance here is very broad. Have you been accepted by your people? Charity begins at home. Of course, we really try so much to run away from that kind of politics, but it is the reality on the ground that you must first be embraced at home before you can be embraced nationally. That is why you see Rigathi Gachagua is trying to galvanize the support of the mountain so that it can get a way to bargain on the table. Number two, you must also have the capacity. Of course, there is the constitutional capacity of age, of education level, of the integrity level, and everything. But then there is also the capacity to run a campaign. How much is required to run a campaign? And how many candidates are able to get to that threshold of running a successful presidential campaign? As much as we abhor politics of tokenism, but there is also movements. You need to reach the people of Remba Highland, Suba, Sindo. You have to go to Nyaururu. You have to go all the way to Vanga and Mandera. So how do you do this? It requires finance. The other thing that is very important is also the agenda, but that comes last, because Kenyans, most of us, we are used to lies, and we are used to parade and line behind a slogan without really questioning the reality. That's why the reality and the reality of achieving these slogans and manifesto. That is why last time William Ruto promised us heaven, and we ended up somewhere. But I think we will be able to judge him. We'll be able to judge him well come 2027, mid 2027, or the end of this year, because there are so many projects that he has initiated. So, but there was a lot of overpromising from both President William Ruto and also Raila Odinga on his part. But then the other thing that you must also appreciate, now the enmity that is now there, that has been created. You see, political nemesis are created. I mean, the enmity is created. And it's normally not about our interests. It's about the interests of politicians. So Rigathi Gachagua, when he was pushed out of the William Ruto's government, he was very angry, and he's still angry. And this anger could only be shown by mobilizing his people against President William Ruto. But then now with that interest, the mountain looks at it differently. The elites in the mountain, though the common Wananchi, they already buy the Rigathi Gachagua narrative. But looking at it critically is now, what is it there for us? Because if it is a slogan of one term, after one term, then what? What next? Then, of course, with the tradition of presidents not always going for one term, that is also something that the mountain, I mean, the people of the mountain will be looking at keenly. And that is why you see some of the elites. You saw people like Moses Kuria. You saw people like the Mutai Kahiga. They are not going there that they are backing. They are not backing President Ruto for who he is. They are backing President William Ruto for their own political interests. One, Mutai Kahiga knows that this is his second term. He's not also very popular. Remember how he got his how he got to be to assume office in the first instance, then the second one. And of course, their politics has also been revolving around Raila Odinga. So anything away from Raila Odinga does not sell. So where does he run to after the second term? So it's not about the people. I know if he will be taken to vote, DCP will carry the day in Nyeri. But look at then, for example, he is going for the second term, and what next? Moses Kuria, he has no political seat that is vying. So probably he wants to build his party so that when that time of negotiation comes, he can easily go there and tell William Ruto, you see, I have my people. That is also what Owalo is trying. Owalo is trying to also measure his strength. But with the measure of his strength, will he be able to get a seat at the negotiation table, or he would have best been seated with William Ruto negotiating for him as now an ally of William Ruto, than now trying to come and negotiate with William Ruto. That will be a mirage.
Coming back to the president's visit on the mountain, what do you make of it? Is it really, because it's on a working tour of the mountain, but what do you make of it, especially from a political standpoint?
Like I said, the elites of the mountain, most of the leaders, they know, and it would be very difficult for the president not to go for the second term. And so with this realization, hate him or love him, you'll have to invite him so that you are at the negotiation table. That is what the mountains have realized. The people of the mountain have realized. So the president's going to Mount Kenya is not that he's very popular. No. It's about the interests of the mountain. They are trying to embrace him because they know that defeating him will be a mirage. But in a free and fair election, a majority of people from Central will vote against William Ruto because they have been whipped. They have been mobilized to understand that they were betrayed. So most of them, of course, any politician will attract a crowd. So that is something that you must appreciate, that yes, President William Ruto is going to the mountain, is making inroads to the mountain. He'll get something out of it, but a majority will vote for DCP.
Is this a timed move, given that over time, it has become evident that when you look at the loyalty of the mountain to the president or the government of the day, that loyalty has been increasingly tested. Is it a timed approach or move right about now?
You know, there's nothing that is happening in the mountain that has never happened before. Whatever is happening with William Ruto's administration happened with the President Moi. And we also, sons, big players. We saw what Njindo Matiba pulled. We also saw what Kibaki did. And we also saw what happened in 2002 when we had two sons of the mountain going for the presidency. And I want to tell you, like I said earlier, the common Mwananchi in the mountain are more informed than many citizens of this nation about being in government. And I want to reassure you again that William Ruto will engage every citizen, every political player in this nation. The most important thing that is important to William Ruto is the stability and continuity of Kenya as a nation. He will engage the mountain people directly or indirectly. And I want to assure you, William Ruto is going to win this, and the people of Mount Kenya will be in government, either before election or immediately after this election.
Do you think he will get the overwhelming support that he got in 2022?
The support may not be as much as that which he got in 2022, but he will get the support, not because they love him, but because of comradeship. Comradeship is you either like the same thing or hate the same thing. So right now, they may want to be in government. So they may not want to have William Ruto. They may not like William Ruto. But the reality that William Ruto may just actually make it to the second term will push them to vote for him, not because they love him, but because of interest. But in any way, who will be the winner here? It will still be William Ruto winning the presidency. But then, who will be the loser? Is there a possibility of Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto uniting? I don't want to wish it away. Anything is possible in politics. No one knew that after 2017, after the nullification of the presidential election and the degree of anger that was in the nation, Raila would shake hands with Uhuru Kenyatta. Again, no one knew that after the 2022 elections and the Mandamano and the tear gassing that happened, William Ruto will shake hands with Raila. It's because Kenyan politics is not about, it's not ideology based. If it was ideology based, then one would stick with his ideology to the end. But it's about interest. Where am I? Because if you look at the other countries, the other developed countries, you will stick to your party and you will stick to your, you'll stick to your maybe line of engagement, notwithstanding who wins the elections. But here now, if William Ruto wins the election and Rigathi Gachagua becomes the opposition leader, as he always, as he has actually said it, that the opposition cannot operate without him. I hope you heard that yesterday. Or is it yesterday or the other day that he is the opposition? So it means that he's also building a portfolio for him to actually also get a leadership in the National Assembly. So he may not be here to win, but he may be here to make a statement. And when you make a statement, then you know you can also have a share. Because in the Kenyan democracy, though the winner takes it all, but there are some advantages, there are some privileges that are well kept for the opposition. But can William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua shake hands? I doubt.
He's confident.
No, I totally doubt. Maybe in the next world, in the next world, which may not come.
But
because
anything is possible in politics. Where does that play out?
That's why I give it around 20%.
20% is a very significant figure.
Let me lower it to 5%.
Mike,
yes,
my wakili here is a young, brilliant mind.
Yes.
And picking his mind, his statement, when you say that Kenya's politics is purely based on interest. Number one interest in the Kenya's politics that most leaders have been informed, that Kenya's continuity relies solely on Kenya's stability. And that's why all presidents from Moi time had a very silent, let's call them handshakes. He did with Raila in '97, and Moi did with Mount Kenya. Moi went directly to the Mount Kenya people because I don't think there's any region more than Mount Kenya and Nyanza that rebelled against Moi's administration from around 1984 all the way to 1997. And Moi had a way of engaging the people and a few friends in these two regions directly. And somehow he ended up getting members elected in those areas and with the KANU and getting some overwhelming good percentage of votes. And I want to tell you that, my friend, there's nothing that is impossible in this republic. There's a great possibility that William Ruto may sit with Rigathi Gachagua before this election or immediately after election. What does Rigathi Gachagua wants? Like he has said, he wants his main interest is not necessarily to win, but is to become a serious player who can come to the table and negotiate constructively, having elected membership behind him. And that's why I'm saying there's a possibility of him sitting with Dr. William Ruto before this election or immediately after Ruto has won.
One of the things that the president has argued during his tour on the mountain is that leadership should be judged on service delivery rather than rhetoric. But then again, that may be the case, yes, on paper. But does it reflect the decisions that a Kenyan make when he or she is going to vote, Wakili?
It's very rare. No, we rarely look at developments in our elections. But if I lose my point, I'll come back to that. Allow me to just add to what my brother said.
Yes.
I know there will be handshakes before elections, but that handshake, I still believe that it may involve other actors in the opposition and not Rigathi Gachagua. High possibility that Kalonzo will join the government before 2027. That is something that you cannot wish away. There is high possibility like for people like Matiang'i joining the government. That is something that you cannot wish away. But I doubt, of course, there is possibility, that's why we put it at 5%.
Yes.
But then, coming to your question, does development matter? Development only matters to the elites. We were the minority. A number of Kenyan politics is ethnicized. So it's always about protecting and fighting. So who is our person? If Kennedy, I mean, if my brother Obuya is our kingpin, then we will elect him and elect his loyalists to help him fight there. Or we will be doing it around strengthening a party, so that if there is a very vocal party member or party official or sitting member of parliament who's very vocal and very loyal to the party, then notwithstanding his poor performance, he will be elected. But we would want to see how that will play in the coming politics.
Yes.
So is it about development? Development plays a very small margin in Kenyan politics. It's about, Kenyan politics, it's about mobilizing and using your resources to win an election. And so that's why most of the crowds that you see in political rallies, they are not just natural, they are not organic. They are mobilized to go for those political rallies, and they are given, they are given something to just attend those rallies. It's open. You see in Kisumu gubernatorial race, it's even becoming very bare that after you go for any meeting, you'll be lining up and they will give you 1,000. So tell me, someone gives you 1,000 on the election day. Someone gives you 1,000 on the election day and you didn't have burger that day, you didn't have sugar, you didn't have anything. Then someone shows you the road. Talking about that, whom will you vote? I know rationality and common sense dictates that you look at the roads and the development, but the stomach and the human needs at that present time will lead you to believe that so-and-so is kind because he has seen you directly. He has given you a token directly that you put in your pocket. And that is why, and that is how we have lost good leaders. So it will not be about development. It will be about what I said in the beginning. How popular are you? How wealthy are you? And then can you sustain a narrative in all your political, because it's about a narrative. We have done this, we will do this. We're so over-promising and over-promising. But I urge Kenyans, especially the Gen Z, they came out very strongly last year. And they were castigating the sitting government for so many atrocities and so many shortcomings. Can they come out this time as well and have a checklist of what they went to the street for? Have they been achieved? If it was poor governance, if it was inclusivity, is there inclusivity in the government? If there was corruption, what is the corruption index as we speak right now? If it was about development, can they show can they show the development track and the development record? Then we can go and vote on those lines. But then come back again. The role that the social media plays, because most of the Gen Zs are on social media, and the actualization of their threats on social media. That is where we also draw the line. Because the other time, the voter registration exercise was actually launched. How many Gen Zs have registered to vote? So it means that the traditional voters are the ones who are still going to go to vote. And when they vote, they already have their allegiances. And that is why calling for a Gen Z protest right now will be a mirage. Why? It's because these Gen Zs have also now started identifying with their people. They are identifying with their tribes. So it's not about leaderlessness again. It's not about about organic sprouting of protest. They now want to look at our people, who is there, and how then are we going forward. So that is the main problem with the Kenyan voters. But now they say in Kiswahili, mgala muwe lakini haki umpe. In the recent times, William Ruto has made strides. It may not be 100%, but we can see construction all over. Every road, there is construction, including where I come from. Rusinga Island Ring Road already is completed, and you can go all around Rusinga Island. So tell me, if you add that with other things, with other factors that we mentioned, if someone can beat William Ruto on that ground, then you'll come now to Central, the Mau roads. There's so many roads that are being constructed. Get to the CBD, get to Uhuru Highway. I mean, there's construction all over. So that, and now the inclusivity. Initially was, we had this common saying that when siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. So that if you didn't vote for William Ruto, and of course the politics of shares, you see it has reduced. And you can see there is some level of inclusivity in the government from all the regions. All the way from Turkana, we have a school. Going to Suba, we have John Badi. Going to Luo, we have, Nyanza, the great Nyanza, Luo Nyanza, we have Pio Wandai. Going to Kisii, we have Migosi Ogamba. Going to the coast, we have Joho. Yes. Going to, of course, and other ministers, Mvurya is there. Going to Western, we have Oparanya. And other ministers, you see. So with this, at least there is some inclusivity, and it will be very difficult because these individuals who have been appointed to these senior positions, they also have influence. So it will be very difficult to beat William Ruto with just a one-term agenda. It must be beyond one term.
Yes. Well, how do you think Kenyans, in terms of voting, will change the way they vote based on interests or issues?
You know, the 2027 voters moving forward, quite a majority are very informed lot. A majority of these voters are people who does not care whether you are called Kamau or Onyango. And in the Kenyan urbans, now you would go to Nyeri and find one Onyango who has been, that's where he calls home. The parents either work in Kiganjo, he's been there for the last 20 or so years. And he doesn't understand why Ubuya would tell him that Rigathi Gachagua is bad. Yeah. And you would find one Kamau who is born in Jericho and Imaradaima, who has grown up with Simiu and Utieno. He doesn't understand why Mike would tell them that Ruto is bad. So they're quite informed, and they're technologically more advanced, unlike the previous voting bloc. And these people, number one, that's why they took Kenyans by surprise when Gen Z came out. As much as the real idea was not their own, but the energy that came out in them is testimony that the Kenyan youth wants Kenya to be united. The Kenyan youth want their leaders to be accountable to the deliveries that they stand for. So I want to tell you that in 2027, majority of this same Gen Z will shock you. Now, they have seen these 2 years after 2004, when they made demands.
2024.
In 2024. Yes. When they made demands, Ruto has changed. And it is shown that he means business. And I also want to tell you that, Rome was not built in a day. We must begin from somewhere. And William Ruto believes that the journey to Singapore, it begins now. And it takes courage, it takes commitment that together, jointly, if we believe in something and focus, we can achieve it. And most of these Gen Zs, there are people who have seen what they need is a selfless leader, someone to take charge and push them. I am telling you, look at what happened over the weekend. Look at the outcome, the numbers that when this, I saw him for the first time, is called I Should Speed. I Should Speed. You understand? How are these Kenyans mobilized? Because they have the technology, they are more advanced in communication. And I am telling you, the same way they were whipped and they turned up is the same way they are now going to make sure that they will vote Ruto overwhelmingly. Not because Ruto is very perfect, but Ruto is the better option that we have now.
All right. We'll take a very short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with this conversation. And some of the things that we are going to look at is that what does this visit to the mountain, what message does it send to both supporters and critics? Stay with us.
You think that I love him, and that I would do anything to save him. However, let me make this clear. I despise the man.
Who are you trying to fool, Mom? I know you're interested in him. Honey,
Just admit it. You are interested in him.
Fine then. I'm very much interested in him.
It's that easy? The investigation's still open, so we need to be able to find you easily. That means you can't leave the city anytime soon, nor do whatever it is you want. That goes for your father as well. Do me a favor, and make sure he gets the message.
But I hate the fact that she has everything, while I have nothing.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Still watching Good Morning Kenya. This is People and Politics. We're talking about the president's visit to the mountain, or the mountain factor, and the visit that is happening. Is it about development or politics? Wakili, what do you think from your own perspective, given this visit now that is happening? The president is touring the mountain. What message is he trying to pass across for both his supporters and critics?
Okay. It's politics is also about perception. And the perception here is, one, the crowd. Whether they are mobilized or it's organic, but that also is a way of communication in politics. That I am still strong. I am not as weak as you thought. So that's a way of encouraging your supporters. That is also a way of discouraging those who don't support you. And it's about perception. No one wants to fight a losing battle. Number two, debunking the lies. Of course, there has been a narrative in the mountain that the president has betrayed the mountain. He has not done anything to the mountain. And so what happens, the president goes there to list the things, the projects, the developments that he has actually completed or that are ongoing in the region. That the president has chased away our sons and daughters from the government and taken those positions and given to those who did not vote him. When the president goes there, one with the leadership of Jubilee being Cecil Mbariri, still the chairman of, not Jubilee, but UDA. Then the ministers, who are still sons of the mountain, is trying to pass a point. Then the last thing is also trying to win the support base. And you see, how do you win the support base? You go for the vulnerable. The vulnerable are those that, like I said, their term is already exhausted. And so what next? They will be well suited as in appointive positions. So how then do you do that? You take them, put them into your basket, and then you make them vocal. And then what does that do? That perception again. Even his governor, his own governor. You see how it aggers on our ears, in our ears. Even his own governor has distanced himself from his rhetorics. So it means that the president is winning on that front. And even all other regions who are yet to decide, they are now pushed to also rush to the table. That no one is being left behind. Everyone is brought together. No one is scattered. And then now the ODM factor. The ODM factor. You see, politics, as I said, it's about interest. With a united mountain, which the president also projects by going to the mountain, and we see those crowds, the other actors, the other political actors, are also scared that if we dilly-dally, then our space at the table may be we may be displaced. So they have to cement their position. And that is why you saw the meeting that was held yesterday in Kilifi. And you saw the press statement and resolutions. So everyone wants to get, because no one, let me put it this way, that success has very many friends. But failure is an orphan. So no one wants to associate himself with a failure. So that is a perception that the president will do whatever it takes to project to the public that he has everyone, that it is only you who is left, and if you don't run, then it means that you will be left forever. So this is a very strategic. Nothing in politics is done just for the sake. Everything is well planned, and it is executed to meet a certain political objective or call. And that is why you will be surprised that after visiting the mountain, you'll see a lot of people crossing over to support the president. I was so surprised to see Moses Kuria. I don't know whether he's been a Trojan horse, but then I was so surprised to see him just from nowhere coming back. And all of a sudden, he's very excited and he wants to be at the table. And he was at the table and he left just the other day. So begging the question, was his leaving strategic, or he was just a Trojan horse? Was he holding brief or just trying to measure and see how the ground operates? Because such people, they don't just act without their... when you see Moses Kuria make a stride or make a step, he already has figured it out that when I get to this point, I'll not be able to defend my seat. Take, for example, I will not be able to defend my interest. Take, for example, Anne Waiguru. Anne Waiguru was an ardent supporter of President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. But then at the long run, she just shifted allegiance and went to William Ruto. And you saw she displaced Purity Ngirishi. Why? He didn't leave President Uhuru because President Uhuru was not a better person, but because the temperatures at the mountain that time were for the current president. And so for her political survival, she had to come back. And that is how she won her seat. The same thing with so many other politicians that you saw shifting and drifting. They were trying to see. Even Mutahi Kahiga, at one point, he was sitting at the fence. But when it was very clear that William Ruto was taking up the mountain, they came. So politics is about interest. Perhaps Moses Kuria has already seen that with the developments in the country, it will be very difficult to beat an incumbent. And that is why his interest is leading him back.
Was that move, given what he is saying, that seemingly the Moses Kuria, it was strategic for him?
Moses Kuria is been around, and Moses Kuria understands the leadership gaps in the Republic and where it comes from. His biggest constituency of Kiambu spread across Mount Kenya region, and equally Nairobi, the Nairobi cosmopolitan area.
Yes.
Moses Kuria, you don't ignore him. Normally, Moses Kuria is a very focused leader. The way he does his submissions on what he stands for at times may come out as a joke. But if you have been around, you've read how he moves along political inclinations. Moses Kuria is now cognizant that William Ruto's re-election is unstoppable. And I don't think Moses Kuria wants to be outside government. He did that with President Moi only. And since then, he's never been outside any government. And he's not going to be outside government in 2027 moving forward. So I want to tell you, number one, it is not only Moses Kuria. There are so many political players.
Yes.
And my brother, number one, we must agree that constitutionally, yet Rigathi Gachagua would not run for an elective office in 2027. And the Luo Nyanza would not have a serious presidential candidate. And we have not seen in central Mount Kenya region
Yes.
A serious presidential candidate coming up to replace Rigathi Gachagua.
Yes.
That means that both Nyanza and Mount Kenya region will not have, that is Luo Nyanza, will not have a serious presidential candidate on the ballot. That is going to play a key role in William Ruto's automatic reception within the two voting blocks. Being that people will say at the central, kama tuna mtu anasimama rais, then huyu Githinji ndio wetu bado. Yes.
Sasa, when it comes to that fallout between the president and his former deputy, and given now that he is going back to the mountain, this is not going to be the first or the last time. How do you see that fallout shaping now the engagement going forward and making sure that he regains the support that he had from the mountain?
Like I mentioned earlier, Ruto is a political animal. He's been around. And this man would camp the same way he's camped in Nyanza from October 2022. It's the same way he's going to camp again in Mount Kenya. He will speak with every soul in Mount Kenya, and he will have quite considerable vote in 2027. He will engage people, and just like he said, he will debunk the lies, the emotions that has been whipped against him in Mount Kenya region. And people in the mountain, quite a number will vote for William Ruto. William Ruto will be in the mountain tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next week. and he will get considerable vote. Yes.
Yes.
The political direction of Mount Kenya, is it definite right now?
For the first time, Mount Kenya will have a divided vote.
How so?
A number of people support Rigathi Gachagua, and they will do so up to the ballot. And of course, depending on how the cards will be played. But there is another group who feels that it is the last term for William Ruto, and they do not have a formidable candidate. So bringing someone, because it's very difficult for a Mount Kenya candidate to be supported right now. So bringing someone like Kalonzo will mean that he goes for 2 terms, and that will subject them to a longer wait. And in this current government, there is, they have the second in command. The factor of the professor, the good professor, Kithure Kindiki.
Yes, yes.
So, this has already shown in the by-elections, the Mbeere by-election, where Wamuthende won against the DCP candidate, and you could see the margin.
It was actually the DP candidate, not the DCP candidate.
The DP candidate won against the DCP candidate. Wamuthende won against the DP candidate. Yes. And the DP candidate was backed by the opposition. He was the opposition candidate.
Yes.
So we expect, because with this was actually whose staff? This was the DP's staff.
But given the margin,
yes, that's what I'm saying. This was the DP's staff. DP, I mean Professor Kithure Kindiki.
Yes.
This was his staff. And remember, in his staff, you see the margin was very small. So you cannot ignore Rigathi Gachagua as well. So one thing I know is that for the first time, they are going to be like the Kisii votes. Kisii votes have also never casted their votes on the same basket. They are always there in government. And this is advantageous in one way, is that they will be in the opposition and they will be in government. And so they will be negotiating on the opposition posts with the likes of Kalonzo Musyoka, putting ultimatums that we have given you the votes, so we want the leader of minority, we want the leader of this. So that will only be realized by getting numbers. And at the same time, they will be with the president that we have given you this number of votes, we want the DP position, or we want given CS. So for me, I look at it from an opportunistic point. They are trying to explore. And Rigathi Gachagua has achieved that. One, for Rigathi Gachagua, he has achieved one thing, being the outspoken and the de facto, if not de jure. Right now, if you look at the kingpins, Rigathi Gachagua, hate him or love him, is like the kingpin. He's just waiting coronation. But he has gone out, because for you to be a kingpin, any publicity in politics is good, both negative and positive. They build you equally. So he has used both to build himself to where he is. And so we cannot ignore him. So in a nutshell, Migwi, we cannot project that the mountains will vote a certain way. It's clear that that is going to be a 60-40 or a 50-50 for the president and for Rigathi Gachagua.
Let me ask you, is it more of a do or die for the president, or is it more of a do or die for the opposition when it comes to, for the united opposition when it comes to Mount Kenya?
You know, President Ruto's conversation with the opposing regions in the Republic is very deliberate.
Yes.
And the way he packages his messaging is purely based on deliverables, both projected and ongoing projects. And you know, the conversation, the way the opposition packages their message is very weak, because what else do you have on William Ruto other than profiling him and labeling him, you know, with all kinds of names? And William Ruto is very definite in how he engages Mount Kenya, Western Kenya, the rest of the nation. Purely, Ruto walks around the Republic and he engages directly on an ongoing project. And the people in every quarter of this nation, I have realized that as much as we don't agree with William Ruto on many things, but somehow in every constituency, in every village, there's something little ongoing. And that's something little ongoing in most parts of this nation. The citizens themselves, when it comes to election in 2027 August, they will elect William Ruto based on that. And that makes it a do or die for the opposition, not for William Ruto.
But it has been evident that sometimes people do vote based on euphoria rather than concrete of other than what is happening in terms of matters to do with development.
The African democracy practice, elections and politics is so ethnicized, and that's a reality that we must accept. Equally, we must also accept that quite a majority of Kenyans who are going to vote in 2027 moving forward, they are people who are not very tribal. They are people who have been raised up in most urbans across the region. And this Gen Z group, my only prayer to them is that they should take ID cards, they should register as voters, so that their good intentions should be spoken constructively in the ballot by giving Kenyans good leaders, by re-electing Dr. William Ruto overwhelmingly to give Kenya serious stability.
All right. Okay. Given that we're talking about matters development, and well, Mount Kenya is considered to be a little bit developed than other areas.
Not a little bit. Seriously developed.
What is seriously?
Seriously developed.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how does that development agenda fit within national priorities? And now, focusing on the whole idea of getting re-election in 2027.
The developments have been there. And that's why we insisted on seriously developed. But does it matter? No. Development, with or without development, the manners in this Kenyan politics is not that good. It's about our person.
Politics of our person.
Politics of our person. So, because right now, the people of the mountain, or let me say the opposition, who glaringly it's being led by Rigathi Gachagua. They are crying about neglect. They are crying about being neglected. Yet, for the first time in Suba, for the first time since history began, it's when we are getting a fast tarmac road, which the process is very slow. That is Suba South. In Suba Central, where I come from, the roads are very bad. You saw Sifuna the other day lamented at Jirongo's funeral that he took his... There are very good places at Sindo. One day you should come. There is the Ruma National Park. There is the Lake Victoria, a big chunk of it, very clean with no water hyacinth. There is the Victory Farms. But the state of Sindo is terrible. No roads, they are not maintained. It's a very bad place. But the irony is that the people of Sindo, or the people of Nyanza, or the people of Suba South, or Suba Central, are appreciating the little they have. The fact that there is a tarmac that now is promising. The other day I wrote a letter to Kera, to the national, the roads board and everything, lamenting the Koguta Nyabera road. Right now, I saw it was included in the budget as one of the roads that needs to be upgraded. But just imagine, with a little, as compared to that in the mountain, who should be now crying against the government? It should be us who are crying that the government has done poorly. If it was about development, if it was about development, then we would have not even voted in the first place, because we don't have anything to really count on. It is at this point that William Ruto became the president that even our town, our area was upgraded to a sub-county, Suba Central. The president has come there twice to launch the road and to launch the ring road in Mfangano and also the Rusinga one. So if you have to look at it, then you look at the mountain, who are crying of neglect, yet they have how many CSS? Yet how many roads are there? So that's why it's not about development. It's about just how well you project your interests. And this is not an interest of the electorates. Politicians have a way of projecting their interests, their personal and selfish interests, to appear as though it is the public interest. And that is their currency. So we are not going to pretend that the developments in the mountain will count. No. It is the interest, and it is how the president will project those interests on one part, and the Rigathi Gachagua will project those interests on his part, that will win the hearts of the mountain. And one last thing about life, and its analogy that we tend also to be being very jealous. You will meet Obuya one day, and you ask Obuya, you have a very nice suit, like he has today.
Thank you.
And now you ask Wasaga, can I buy you a suit like this for Obuya, or I take Obuya's suit? Wasaga will tell you, take Obuya's suit, so that we remain. And that is the kind of politics that we have in Kenya. Someone already has a good suit, and when you also want to buy a suit, the other person says you better deny him. You take that from him so that he remains without one, instead of you also advocating to get a similar suit as that of Obuya. And that is the problem we have.
That is the problem we have. You know, in the interest of time, going forward, and I'll take this as your closing remarks, going forward, how do you see the politics now shifting in Mount Kenya going forward?
Going forward, the political elite are going to be shocked. And I just want to pray that beginning with my good friend Rigathi Gachagua, like my brother mentioned, that let's call him a de facto opposition leader. He's nearly assuming the position that Raila has been. And I want him, if you want to assume that position, I want him to be very wise on how, when to stop and when to front. Politics needs some level of intelligence. Leadership needs tolerance. And one thing that I want to say that Mount Kenya is changing. From the outcome of the Mbere by-election is testimony that citizens of Mount Kenya can be engaged directly, and there could be a positive outcome. And that is going to be realized in 2027 President Ruto's re-election. Mount Kenya will shock you. They will vote for William Ruto overwhelmingly again.
Yes. Yeah. All right. Wakili.
Yes.
Your final remarks.
My final remarks? It's simple. Kenya is at a point that we have never imagined. All along, since I think I was born, I have always known politics from the point of Raila being in the opposition or being a very formidable factor in any election. But for the first time, you're going to do that election without him. This has exposed a lot of things. It has exposed the fact that politics in Kenya is revolved around individuals. And so we should dissociate ourselves from individual politics and look at politics from a broad perspective of the Constitution and also the interest of the public, so that we are able to build ourselves. What will happen to ODM, only God knows. But then, whatever happens to ODM should also be a lesson to politicians who are currently running political parties, that it's high time that we also develop a mechanism whereby we are able to develop our people politically as well, so that when a time like this comes, we are able to diversify and come back. The main, if I may take just a minute, the main undoing, or the main not undoing, but the main advantage that the Western, the Western province, the former Western province, the Kisses and the Central province I have had for a very long time, is that their politics, they are diversified. They are all over. But then when it comes to the election, then you find them coming to either one basket, or one basket is weighing a little bit heavier than the other. So we also need to take care of Raila's legacy. That is my message to the ODM. It is high time that they come back, talk, and get a way forward, because the rhetorics in ODM right now, it's not really the best. If you cannot be a secretary general, that speaks for the party, ship out.
That's
powerful.
Yes, that's powerful. That was our town, gentlemen, and I thank you so much for making time to come on Good Morning Kenya and talk about what is happening in the country. That is Wakili Peter Wasaga, who is an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and Honorable Kennedy Obuya, who is the UDA chairperson in Homa Bay County. Thank you so much for tuning in to Good Morning Kenya, and particularly this conversation on people and politics. My name is Mike Migwe. Good Morning Kenya continues shortly. Stay with us.
Kusahona nafanya googling natembea in front of my husband hapo.
Kwani wewe Kasuku?
Wewe
mimi ile heshima, hata niko na kuheshimu madam, naona hakuna haja.
Hata mimi hapana kuheshimu wewe. Mwingine
huu kwanza ndo jini mkatakamba mheshimiwa.
Mimi unaona
Nilileta majini saa ngapi?
hiyo mimi ilikuwa napenda yeye. Unajua penda nataka kutuanga, lakini
hiyo mapenzi yako ni tofauti.
Namna gani? Hata wewe iko paya googling yeye, alafu wewe napundisa yeye nafanya jigli yangu.
Why did you bring temptation kwa nyumba za wenyewe?
Yes.
Hakuna temptation imeletwa.
Where is the balance between what's a good decision and what's a godly decision?
Parents or like mentors or pastors, they're older than us, so they've experienced more than what we have. So when they tend to give us those advice or decisions to make,
he felt bad after because the decision isn't good in the end, because God's decisions are always good, so we should always follow them.
If it's good according to the standards of the world, then it is not necessarily godly.
I think our environment and things we interact with, like social media and friends, they most of the times influence the kind of decisions that we make.
It was a day that changed his life forever. A hit-and-run accident left 15-year-old Ferdinand Kierie fighting for his survival. But through occupational therapy, his journey to recovery is a story of resilience.
A little bit, step, yes, step a little bit. Just slowly, and do side again, that side again, that side again, that side again. Step back, step back, step back, step back. Very good. Can you move yourself now?
Occupational therapy, often shortened to OT, is a form of therapy that helps individuals achieve independence in their day-to-day activities after illness, injury, or disability. It is for anyone whose life has been disrupted, be it from a road traffic accident, a stroke, cerebral palsy, arthritis, or even mental health challenges. It isn't about occupation as a job, rather about your daily occupations, like bathing, grooming, cooking, schoolwork, and even playing. With the unwavering support of his parents, Ferdinand is slowly rebuilding his life through occupational therapy at the Kenyatta National Hospital.
Huyu mtoto alipatwa accident akienda shule, ilikuwa 6:30. Ikakuwa ni hit and run kutoka 17th October last year. Tumekuwa na yeye kwa muda huo wote tukimfanyisha therapy. Alikuwa na mambo mengi yenyewe, lakini kwa venye tumeendelea kwa hii hospitali ya Kenyatta, tukaongeleshwa tukuje after ametoka ward na ICU, tukakuja huku kwa occupation therapy, na tumeona venye tumeendelea vizuri.
Just a few months ago, he was fighting for his life here at the Kenyatta National Hospital. His path to recovery has been long, but with every day, he is one step closer to regaining his future. Dr. Eric Momanyi, a speech and language therapist, has helped Ferdinand recover his speech back.
When the boy came to our facility, he was not able to use or to coordinate his eyes and the hands because of he got affected from the accident. And as we've been doing the therapy, he's able to get the colors done. Fedi?
Yes.
He's trying to coordinate his eyes as well as his hand to color the activity. Also this one, you know, he was a boy in school. And in so doing, he's able to coordinate school vis-a-vis hospital. When he came to the hospital, 1 year off, he was not able to coordinate. Now, I'm trying to bring back that self-esteem that he can be able to write, and as he goes back home, he's able to redo whatever he was doing, that is schooling. Here he is. Now he's able to color. And I'm confident that he's going to achieve his goals in school. As an occupational therapist, I'm here to give that.
Through the therapy, Dr. Eric has also helped Ferdinand coordinate his movements.
You remember our game?
Yes.
Concentration is the game.
Keep ready, if you can.
Fedi, Fedi.
Eric.
Fedi, Fedi.
Eric.
Now, I want us to mention this thing together, okay?
Okay.
Now, how I move. Can you repeat that with me?
How I move.
How
I move.
Today, I want us to learn how things move. People do what?
Walk.
People walk.
Yes.
And that's what I'm expecting from you. That in few days you're going to walk back to
school.
Good. Now, here I go. First animal that I know you'll get interested in.
Yes.
What is that?
A monkey.
A monkey. How does a monkey move?
By swinging.
Can you swing using your hands? Swing. Swing using use your hands to swing. Swing, swing, swing. 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 Good.
Fast.
You want faster?
No.
Okay.
I was saying so that I cannot lose the balance.
Don't
then
worry.
fall.
I'm here for you. Okay?
Okay then.
The first animal was?
A monkey.
The second one is, guess?
A cheetah.
A cheetah. How does a cheetah move?
By running.
How? Show
Fast.
me. Show me. Good. Initially, this boy was not able to do and to coordinate such. But as we went on through various activities, he was able to imitate animals, he was able to imitate the environment around him, and now you can see the way he's coordinating his hands very well, and is able to merge with his way of doing things. Remember, our goal is to get this boy back to school, walking.
The road to physical recovery has been the hardest. The accident left Ferdinand with inability to chew and swallow food. But slowly, with patience and persistence, he has begun to regain skills that so many of us never think twice about.
We are demonstrating how now he's able to feed. Initially, he was using the percutaneous endoscopic gastrostomy tube because he had issues, a problem with his muscles. He couldn't swallow, he couldn't coordinate the chewing muscles, and even swallowing with speech. Now we trained the muscle. We were able to rehabilitate the oral muscles and the neck muscles. And now for the first time he's able to chew and to taste food using his mouth. And just we want to demonstrate how he's been able to achieve that milestone in swallowing and in his ability to feed. Can you take your juice, Ferdinand? You have a little bit of coordination problem, but that one is also good. In occupational therapy, we say you use occupation as a means and occupation as an end. Occupation as a means, you assess the function of the patient, and also as an end, that at the end of it is able to perform that activity, like feeding, is able to perform that activity. Now you can see he's able to suck juice from the bucket through the straw, and he was able also to bite the cake and eat the cake, which means that the muscles, his oral muscles, have been successfully been rehabilitated. He's able to coordinate them, the lips, the teeth, the tongue, and even the throat to be able to swallow. Now his quality of life has improved, and even as you can see, his health has improved because now he's able to feed just as normal as he used to be before. So it's no longer a challenge even to parents to feeding him through the percutaneous gastrostomy tube, which requires also high nursing skill and high hygiene skill because it can cause infection. But this one now, he's happy, he's able to feed, and I think we have discharged him as far as swallowing therapy is concerned.
For Ferdinand, every swallow and movement is a triumph. The therapies have become a journey of rebuilding not just his physical abilities, but also his confidence.
Yes, now you can taste food for after how long time? The long time you've been feeding through the tube? 10 months. Yeah. How was your food?
I didn't feel even a taste.
Yes.
I didn't even feel any sweetness or any taste.
But now you can feed on, you told me nyama choma?
Yes.
Oh, you can eat nyama choma?
Oh, yes, I can.
And which other food? Any food?
Food I can able to eat it.
Very good. Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Because of you and God.
Yes.
You have helped me a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
We thank God for you.
Yes, we thank God for you.
Ferdinand's parents have seen a lot of improvements on their son, and that gives them hope.
Improvement yameimprove sana because initially hakuwa hata naweza kusimama, mikono yenyewe hata ilikuwa stiff, haikuwa ina move. Shingo yenyewe hata hakuwa inasafiri kwa tu ana move right left. But after therapy tumeendelea vizuri, akakuja mikono akaanza kustretch, miguu pia. Bado kuna therapy nyingine anafanyiwa physiotherapy, but inafanyiwa like twice a week at home. Sasa hapa tunakuja hii occupational therapy hiyo ya viungo. Tulikuwa tunatumia splint, but these days now he's not using splint. Now he can. Now he is studying. Now we are looking forward to the day he's starting to work.
His mother encourages other people who have patients with similar conditions about the importance of occupational therapy.
Kwa mashauri yangu kama mzazi, nimesema ya kwanza ni kuwa na uhusiano na Mungu, kuomba Mungu akusaidie kwa hii mambo, sababu si rahisi venye mtu anaweza fikiria, na upendo mwingi kwa ule mgonjwa mtu ako naye, na kufuatilia maagizo ya daktari. Kuna wengine wanaambiwangwa ati enda speech therapy, wengine wanapuuza wakifikiria how will it work. Lakini sisi kulingana venye tumeendelea na mtoto wetu, kusema ukweli ina work. Hiyo ukiambiwa kama ni speech therapy, fuatilia, sababu mtoto wetu nasikia hakuwa anaongea, tumefuatilia huku na hao madaktari, tulikuwa na Shivashi, tulikuwa na Eric, na wametusaidia sana. Mtoto ameweza kuongea, mtoto kwa sahi hatumii mpira, anakula kwa mdomo yake. So wenye mko nyumbani na mko na wagonjwa kama hawa, ningemuhimiza mutilie maanani ya kuenda hospitali. Fanyeni hiyo therapy, ina work, inafanya kazi.
The journey to recovery is never easy, but it is always worth it. For Ferdinand, learning to swallow, chew and eat again is just the beginning. With every step, he's rediscovering a new part of himself, a new chapter in his story of resilience. This is not just a story of survival. This is a story of triumph, of a young boy overcoming the odds to reclaim his life.
I am feeling good, and I have noticed a lot of progress in my body. Yes.
Like what?
Like talking, eating with my mouth. You see, like almost a month ago, I used to use a feeding tube, but now I can use my mouth. Yes. And I can use my hands to feed myself. Yes.
Now you can talk.
Yes. I really give thanks to God and my doctors who have helped me a lot.
In Kenya, thousands of families face a quiet crisis, a disease that erases names, faces, and stories. This is Alzheimer's disease, and according to Dr. Magada, Alzheimer's is at times mistaken for dementia. But how do they differ?
Alzheimer's disease is part of a group of diseases that cause what we call dementia. Dementia is defined as a progressive decline in cognitive abilities. When we talk about cognitive abilities, we are saying reduction in ability to learn, loss of memory, altered behavior. And so dementia then encompasses many other diseases apart from Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is part of what we call primary dementia. Other types include vascular dementias, and it's important that we differentiate, because there are also some dementias that are caused by reversible causes, for example, depression, thyroid disorders can give memory issues. Now, Alzheimer's, in Alzheimer's, there is a part of the brain that controls learning that is usually affected, the hippocampus. It's a part of the brain. So it gets affected, and then you get, the people start declining in their ability to remember things, especially recent memory. They can remember remote memory, the long-term things, things that were done long ago, but they can't remember the immediate things. And that therefore means learning becomes an issue.
Alzheimer's in often cases is mistaken for normal aging. However, it affects over 50,000 Kenyans, mostly those over 60 years, but awareness is low. It is still the past, but love, patience, and understanding can protect the present. Alzheimer's is accompanied by various symptoms.
You get loss of memory, especially recent memory. You'll find that they may not remember where they have kept their phones or their money. You find some bit of change in behavior. And then some become aggressive. They even, you get for people forgetting the names of others or who they are, yet they're part of the family. So mainly it's the issue of memory, but you get impaired learning as well. And also, like I said, change in behavior. And this progresses from early signs, and it keeps going to a situation where now they are not even able to, if they get out of the compound, they will not know how to get back. So they are sort of limited to certain levels.
In Kenyan communities, Alzheimer's is often misunderstood. Some call it madness, others think it's a curse. And the progressive brain disorder sadly not only affects thinking, but it also triggers behavior change which could cause trauma. The question is, what are the risk factors of Alzheimer's?
Age and genetics. It's a progressive disease. And because it's a progressive disease, sometimes there may be very little that can be done. However, there are certain factors that could sort of precipitate it. We've had, from experience, patients who, when they are given certain drugs, for example, sedatives, or drugs to alter their behavior, antipsychotics, then the symptoms are triggered. So usually we have to look around nutrition, we have to look around factors that would alter their mood, causing depression. We have to look around drugs that they could be taking. We have to look around the underlying comorbidities, underlying the diseases, for example, diabetes, hypertension. We have to look around all those to make sure they are well taken care of, because they pose a risk in precipitating memory disturbances in a patient who is already genetically predisposed or age-wise predisposed.
I know. I was wrong.
Why are you coming back?
To see you. I miss you. We're not at your place, and no one's here to arrest me. So it must be important.
He's told me he's moved on, but I can feel it's still affecting him up to now.
But no one's made trouble lately.
What's going on? He didn't say, though he didn't look happy.
Hautaabudu yoyote wala kuelekeza ibada yoyote kwa mwingine asiyokuwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bali ibada zako zote utakuwa mwenye kumwelekezea Allah. Unapokuwa na matatizo yoyote utakuwa mwenye kumkimbilia Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Masharti haya ni kuwa na imani ya neno lile. Useme neno ambalo huna imani nalo.
Mama mbele yono kuwasomea somo la asma. Arnabon songora. Asadun sim anana. Sallim daiman abadan ala hali.
Kusahona wewe napaya googling natembea in front of my husband hapo.
Kwani wewe kasuku?
Wewe.
Mimi ile heshima hata niko na kuheshimu madam, naona hakuna haja.
Hata mimi hapana kuheshimu wewe.
Huu kwanza ndo jini mkatakamba mheshimiwa.
Mimi nilileta majini saa ngapi?
Hiyo mimi ilikuwa napenda yeye. Unajua penda nataka kutuanga. Lakini
hiyo mapenzi yako ni tofauti.
Namna gani hata wewe iko paya googling yeye, alafu wewe napundisa yeye nafanya jigli hata yangu.
Why did you bring temptation kwa nyumba za wenyewe?
Yes.
Hakuna temptation imeletwa.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
All right, Good Morning Kenya gets to continue. Thank you for staying with us. My name is Vivian Ndegwa, and now we get to talk matters health. And today's conversation, as I had mentioned earlier, is quite interesting. I am intrigued by it. We're talking about longevity and genes, and is it possible for you to increase your lifespan simply by looking at your genes and finding ways in which you can eliminate your risks for you to be able to live longer? So that is what we are talking about today, and I am more than pleased to be joined by Samuel Oliech Omolo, who is a PhD researcher and the founding director, the Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences, and he is also the chairman of the Li-Fromini Syndrome Association Africa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for hosting me. It's not the first time here.
Yeah.
It's familiar. And Jambo Kenya, this is a good debate that we want to take forward on longevity. I come from an institute called Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences, recently registered by the Kenyan government, and we are grateful to our president for registering a new state department for research, science and technology with the PS, and this has made us come out. Science is actually taking its position in the country as a part of solution for our world.
All right.
Yes.
Let's get into the conversation. And
Yes.
I want us to begin from the point of just defining what longevity is. So when we talk about longevity, are we talking about, from the genomics point of view, are we talking about your lifespan in terms of how many years you live on Earth? Are we talking about how many years you get to live on Earth as a healthy person, or are we talking about both of them?
That's a good question. Longevity is how long you live on Earth in a healthy way. Yeah, you can live to 100 years, but you're not healthy. You have dementia and you don't remember anything, or even to 80 and you're not in very good shape, you don't remember anything. So longevity is both how you live for long, in good health, and also a technology. There's a reason why I describe it as a technology whose time has come, and we'll get to know more about it as we continue our discussion. So human health has been more of reactive as in the past, and we look at health today as something that we should be more proactive. Yeah, it's reactive because you get sick, you feel a itch, you want to go and see a doctor. They react only to what you're feeling. But in modern day, what we are proposing to increase longevity is that we look at predictive kind of medicine, picking it early. If you look at the average lifespan of a human being, human beings are wired to live naturally in their DNA for 100 years plus. If you look at other animals like dogs, genetically, they have an optimal lifespan of 30 years. But look at 200 years ago, the average life expectancy was 30 years, which is different from today, which is 65 years, but in the developed world is 80, 85 years. That's because of technology. In the past 200 years ago, people were dying of infectious diseases. Very simple, cholera, flu virus. But with the advent of technology, where vaccines and antibiotics came into play, all these were eliminated and life expectancy increased tremendously. So how do we increase life again? It's not by changing anything or editing anything. It's simply for we to get into 100+ club, it's following technology. We are a blessed generation. We live in a generation where there is high-end kind of technology in DNA sequencing, in imaging and genomics, in biomarkers, in liquid biopsy. Putting it together with the big data and AI, we are able to do what we call efficient predictive medicine, which enhances life. Yes.
Before we now get into that bit, whereby now you are able to predict and get to enhance your life, I want to get back to the life expectancy bit. You mentioned that we are genetically wired to live up to 100 years. But when you look at our lifespan, it varies depending on the geographical environment you're living in. So in Kenya, the life expectancy, just from a quick Google search, is about 63 years, compared to a place like Japan, which is 81 years. So what is this dependent on? What is one's lifestyle dependent on? Is it dependent on lifespan, rather dependent on? Is it dependent on environment? Because of the fact that, in this country it's this amount of years, this other country this amount of years. So is it dependent on the environment? Is it dependent on our lifestyle? And how much of it is dependent on our genes?
That's a good question. Genes play a role in longevity, but environment plays a bigger role. I want to make it as simple, not very scientific, so that someone in the village...
We all understand.
Yes, would understand this. So genes are like guns. So you load the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. So the environment where we live and the food we eat and all this plays a bigger role in longevity in some areas. For example, you look at the life expectancy in Japan, of course, some of them have more expressed longevity genes like FOXO, but they've kind of food they're eating, may make them reduce their risk towards diseases. what makes people not live for long are basically diseases. And genes are like bulbs, yeah, and switches. But environment acts as a factor that switches on or off certain genes that make us live long. So yes, environment plays a key role in longevity. And look at Africa. Africa is a tropical kind of climate. And you look at the northern part of the world, which is more of a freezing zone, yeah? You'd find that most microorganisms do not thrive there. They're more in a refrigerated state. But in Africa, temperature is optimal for all viruses, all bacteria, all fungus. So you're always bombarded, allergens. So you're always bombarded with high-risk diseases. So environment plays a big role in the question you're asking. Yes.
So environment also plays, it actually plays a bigger role.
It plays a bigger role.
Yeah.
Everyone has good genes, but environment and diseases plays a major role when it comes to longevity.
What role does lifestyle play for someone who's always ensuring they're doing everything they need to do? You know, I wake up, I go for my run, I watch what I eat. I actually have a nutritionist who, you know, directs me in what I am to eat. Am I at a position to live longer than someone who is just living, as we call it, la vida loca?
Okay, that's a good question. Everything from spiritual care in your mind, your whole body care, exercise, plays a greater role in longevity. But we have to look at the whole human body in what kills more people in the 21st century more than any other thing. So we are more aware over time with technology what harms human beings. So there are 4 pillars, major pillars that are away from infectious disease, which has been quote-unquote eliminated by vaccines and antibiotics. What kills people the most in the world right now is cardiovascular diseases. They top the list, followed by cancer, and then diabetes, and then mental kind of related Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease. So if we are able to manage these ones, these age-related symptoms, and do pre-symptomatic screening early enough, if I can screen early enough and get to know my risk early enough, I'm able to add 10 or 20 more years to my life. And this is where we are proposing a model. The current model does not work in healthcare, where we have sick care model. Get sick, we care, and you're taken to hospital. It does not really work. But we also have the current one, which is pre-symptomatic screening. Yeah, we are a lucky generation. We are living in a generation where to live to 80 years, you are in a well state, 60% in a transition state, then you get sick and you die much earlier. But we are proposing a model where that data-driven model, where we have 80% of your life, you're living well, and then we have just like 10% through a transition, and maybe at 2% you're sick, and then you die peacefully at 100 years. So these are kind of synergies we are looking at to create wellness, for longevity. Maybe just to take you back, because we are talking about genes. Someone at home may think genes is the kind of jeans I'm wearing. Genes carry biological information. They are within our chromosomes. My mother donated 3 billion letters to me, and my father donated 3 billion letters to give 6 billion letters that defines one person. And these things carry biological information. They carry information about your health, disease risks. Almost every disease is related to a gene, because genes translate into proteins. It carries information about your height, your strength, your eye color, your teeth, everything about you. So once you decode the information that's in you, it's easy to predict your risks. And just taking you back to history so that we understand this much better. 25 years ago, it took over a decade to decode the human genome, to read out a complete human genome. And it was a cost of almost $3 billion. That's a lot of money. But
25 years ago?
Yes, 25 years ago. But technology in DNA sequencing has evolved that today, as we speak, you can, I saw it from Broad Institute and Roche Diagnostics, you can now do whole genome sequencing within 4 hours. This has revolutionized so many things within 4 hours. And the cost has also dropped tremendously from $3 billion. Now you can decode a whole human genome within 4 hours for $200. Which means if you want to live for 100 years, you don't need to wait to be sick to spend over 50 million Kenya shillings, bedridden and not working. You better spend $200, which is like how much in Kenya shillings?
24,000 Kenyan shillings thereabout.
Yes. So $200, if you divide by 100 years, is $2 per year. Yeah. To sequence your whole genome, which is again done once to gather all the biological information within you. You will not repeat it again because it decodes all the information in you. So this has reduced significantly to an extent that now genome sequencing in 2026 into the future is getting into the clinic. And it's going to save lives. But it's not only genes that determine longevity. Could be to what human beings understand, 20 to 30%. But there's a major pillar that we are dealing with, which is cardiovascular diseases, respiratory diseases, talking about cancer. Yeah. So if you combine what at Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences, we are coming up with a product called Symphony Clinic, where we are using whole genome sequencing, rapid sequencing, imaging using MRI, magnetic resonance technology, which is almost in most hospitals in Kenya. And then we're also looking at the biomarkers, like you do whole blood screening, hematology. And then you do liquid biopsy testing using PCR for circulating tumor markers in your body, risks within your body. All this combined as a symphony, using AI and big data to analyze this data, we are able to predict accurately what's affecting you as an individual. Your risks as a family could be cardiac arrest in the next 10 years. If I look at my whole data within the symphony, I could be having a risk of high levels of cholesterol or a heart attack. So once we know our risk, what we call Achilles heel. Achilles heel, layman's language, is your fatal weak point. Once you know your fatal weak point, you are able to pick it out and resolve it. And by resolving it, you are 10 or 20 years ahead of your time, or reducing that risk. If I'm able to pick that I have a high risk for lung cancer in the next 20 years, with that data that I have, a doctor anywhere, not necessarily within our system, is able to tell you, choose the Charlie T. Munger principles. Charlie T. Munger is a philosopher who lived to 99 years, but he said, in a funny way, if you tell me where I'm going to die, then definitely I'll not go there.
Of course.
If I knew I'm going to die at KBC, I would not come here in the morning. I would stay at home.
Sure.
So the moment you know that your risk, your point of death is going to be heart attack, or lung cancer, or a tumor that's caught at stage 1, which is still 1 centimeter, you're able to work with your doctor. It could even just be a polyp that's just removed, and you add 10 or 20 more years to it. all this system contributes to longevity.
All right.
So longevity is not just about strong genes. You can have strong genes, but environment plays a very big role in your daily life, and it can reduce your lifestyle.
All right.
Yes.
So what I'm getting from your explanation
Yes.
is that I can be able to tell what condition or what disease may affect me in future. You can easily tell, like if I come, you've called it genome sequencing, right?
Yes.
The genome sequencing, the MRI, and all the tests that you've just mentioned.
Yes.
If I come to you and, you know, we get to check, can you tell if maybe, God forbid, I have a risk of developing maybe some sort of cancer in the next 20 years? Can you tell?
That's very easy, very easy to tell. Everything is in our DNA. It's like carrying information with a flash disk. Remember, biology has come of age as a digital science. Yeah, in the past, we were talking only about computer. Computers works with 0, 0, 1, 1, yeah, for codes. But human DNA is just the same. It works with CTG, yeah, all those, yeah, adenine, cytosine, guanine, and thymine, ACTG, yeah. So you are able to, once you decode everything in your genome through whole genome sequencing, which I have to emphasize has become very cheap, and it's going even cheaper into the future, you are able to predict your risk for example, for cancer, for cystic fibrosis.
For any kind of disease?
For any kind of disease that's genetic. For lung cancer, we have, if you go even right now to our major hospital, you hear doctors talking about lung cancer markers, yeah, cancer panels. It's called a whole panel. You're able to do a whole panel and get to know which one. Is it pathogenic, which means disease-causing risk, or is it just a silent one? So once you know you've done whole genome sequencing, and you analyze, for example, you pick and you know that I have a pathogenic mutation in TP53 gene. TP53 gene is the guardian of our genome. It's like the police of the human genome. It proofreads the whole genome and get to know where the genetic mistake. And you're told you have a pathogenic mutation in your TP53 gene that's predisposing you to high risk for Li-Fraumeni syndrome and cancers. Yeah? So from there, you were able to deal with it. And a good example, we have people who have come out, they're very vocal about their genetics. Look at Angelina Jolie.
Oh, yeah.
She talks about BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene, and she's made the breast cancer awareness space very big using genomics. Yeah? In Kenya, I have to give a Kenyan example, of course.
Yes, please.
One of our greatest champion in our studies for Li-Fraumeni syndrome, she's called Lakita Bongo. Yeah? I know she's not new to the Kenyan space. Lakita's father had cancer. She used to work in one of the media houses, I think Nation Media. And he had a mutation in TP53 gene that was not picked, and he died at age 30, yeah, of an aggressive sarcoma. And later on, the daughter, Lakita, got an early onset aggressive tumor. But this was not picked on her treatment until she was taken to India. The sarcoma became very aggressive and her leg was amputated. She lost one of her legs. So down the line, a doctor said within the group that you need to do sequencing, genomic sequencing. And when genomic sequencing was done on this beautiful girl, it was found that she has a mutation, a pathogenic mutation on TP53 gene. This caused a syndrome called Li-Fraumeni syndrome. And Li-Fraumeni syndrome, if you have it, you are almost definitely a candidate for cancer, and also multiple types of cancer. So over time with technology, now she knows how to live well. The moment they knew she has Li-Fraumeni syndrome, she's predisposed to cancer, there's a protocol on how you live well. Guess what? Even after amputation, she's lived well. She's gone through some technology treatment. She got a a bone marrow transplant from the mother, and she's now cancer-free, which means information. Her weakest point, the fatal point, was picked out through genome sequencing, and now she's going to university.
I love that, and I want to still get back on that, you know, because it's really intriguing. It's interesting, right? So I want us to use a case scenario of young girl or boy who is now just 10 years old, you know. So can you tell from as early as that young, you know, one's weakest point in the future? So probably this 10-year-old is going to develop a cardiovascular disease when they are 50 years old. So 40 years to come, they will develop that kind of disease. So can you tell as early as 10 years old? Because I mean, when you talk about genes, it's who you are. So you're born with the genes as they are, right? So can you tell from that age, well, from the 10-year-old, if the parent decides I want my child to, you know, to get checked, they do the genome sequencing and all these tests you're talking about, can they tell from that age? And is it possible to prevent this 10-year-old from developing that cardiovascular disease by the time she's 50?
That's a very good question. Genes carry biological information right from inception.
Yeah.
So age 10 is even old, even as at birth. Once you take blood or any cell from the human body and you do whole genome sequencing, you have biological information about that child. So once you sequence, there are AI tools that we use to analyze. Remember, in the past, machines depended on human beings to move them around, to shoot. But in this generation, human beings depend on technology and machines, and we are soon depending on them 99%.
With the emergence of AI,
Yes, AI and big data. So you are able to identify your risks. Every gene and mutation and risks for certain diseases are within our DNA from birth. So the answer is yes. The 10-year-old boy, you're able to pick their risk for cardiovascular diseases, for digestion, let's say PKU, from day one, for lactose intolerance, for cancers, and even diabetes from as early as age 1. So remember, the risk is there. The environmental trigger is now what you avoid. So once you know that your child has a high risk, let's say for a cardiovascular disease, it runs in your family. So this child is able to walk a journey with their doctor. And once such kind of specialized diagnostics are done, at times it's not very good to work with your family doctor.
Why not?
Because some family doctors are not specialists. Once you identify that this is now, I'm dealing with, let's say, cystic fibrosis or cancer risk, now identify a specialist to work with, to minimize the risk. Because the family doctor will tell you, it's not yet there. We can wait and observe a little longer. So if you're observing a little longer, a stage 0 tumor could be 1 inch next year, could be 2 inches after a few months, and 8 inches. With that, you lose a life. So the straight answer is whole genome sequencing has come of age. Biology has come of age as digital data, and you are able to pick diseases early enough. But not only with genes. This must be complemented with whole body MRI imaging, biomarkers, and also liquid biopsy and big data, combining all this. And that's why the Pan-African Institute is proposing, starting to come out with a symphony for this kind of project.
Wow, okay. I want to get into this because, I mean, we cannot avoid religion. And Kenya is a very religious nation. So I'm sure maybe there's someone who's maybe thinking in their mind, you know. I mean, life is God-given, and if there are some who believe that when you're born, it's already premeditated when you're going to die. You may be the kind who will die at 30, you may die at 80, you may die at 100, and it may have nothing to do with everything that we're talking about. So what would be your take on that?
A good question. Science has nothing, has no fight with religion. Me, I'm a Christian. Someone is a Muslim, all this. But healthcare, indicators within our bodies have no religion. Yeah? There is nothing ethical that science is flouting. Science is just telling you, hey, this is your high risk. This is your point of death. This is what's going to kill you. Because if you meet people in a religious gathering and ask them a question, who knows where they're going to die? Do you?
Nobody knows.
No one knows in the studio. Who knows in a religious gathering when they are going to die?
Of course, no one.
No one knows, right? But what if, glaringly, you do an MRI scan and you're told you have a 1-inch tumor growing on your bone? Is that something good or bad?
Bad, definitely.
But is it informing you of something?
Yes. I mean, you get to know earlier.
Yes, so that one technology has nothing to do with religion. There's no clash between religion and, this is like servicing your body. A car back in the village that belongs to our grandparents. That's why I want to communicate to someone in Ganze or in Turkana. If you look at vehicles, the 1950 models, the Volkswagens, if you look at the one in the village that was left there, even trees and mold is growing on it. Yeah? They're completely grounded. But you can find the same Volkswagen in Nairobi that's being serviced regularly. The engine is still running and it's moving around. Are you getting the concept? Predictive medicine is just like servicing a vehicle. The more you service a car, the longer they live. Yes. It's servicing human beings and predicting risks early enough makes this vehicle live longer. And that's the whole essence of longevity. So there's no conflict between religion. Religion has its space, very important. But scientific facts about the human body and the frequent service needed combined with your genes makes you live longer. And humans naturally, the human genome is wired to live for 100+ years. It's only the environmental factors that would reduce this. Yes.
So is that like a lifespan that is already encoded in your DNA?
It's encoded in our DNA. And that's why we are different from rats and mice. They have a shorter lifespan. And elephants live much longer, to 87 years. They're like human beings. It's in their DNA. I think there's a species of whale that lives for fairly over 100 years. Tortoise. You go to Nanyuki.
I've seen that. I don't remember how old that tortoise was, but yes, I've seen that tortoise.
Without acts of God, like accidents or any other person, a human being's DNA is naturally wired to live 100+. So people should not fear club 100+. You just eliminate your risks and follow the protocol and technology. I can tell you longevity is a technology whose time has come. Like it or not, it's happening in our generation. And we're in a generation where big data has come of age. Yes.
Is longevity hereditary? In the sense that, there's someone who may say, we live longer, our family, looking at our family tree and all that, we live longer. Someone would say, my great-great-grandmother is still here at age 100, and, my grandma is still there maybe at age 88. So is it something that is hereditary? Because there's one who say, well, I've never even met any of my grandparents. They died earlier. So could it be hereditary?
Yes, it is. scientifically, it's hereditary. Genes are inherited. We get one from our mother and one from our father. But there are specific longevity genes that are expressed, like FOXO03. These ones, they control stress and the whole human body. They are more expressed in certain population than other populations. So we can say partly yes, but I think not more than 20 to 30%. We have TP53 gene, which is the guardian of the genome. We have ApoE4 gene, which is for things like cystic fibrosis, Alzheimer's disease, and your whole brain, the way your brain works. So it's partly yes or no.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. When you talk about gene editing,
yes,
what are we looking at? And is it the same as gene mutation? And can it be used to extend one's lifespan?
That's a good question. Mutations are genetic mistakes that occur within our genome over years. Remember, the human being has billions of cells that divide every second, but they do mistakes. Each cell makes a copy, and it's identical copy of one this side, and makes another copy. So there are genetic mistakes in copying DNA, because the information in one cell should be exactly the same information in the other cell. The information in your cheek cells should be the same information you get in the DNA in your blood or in your hair for forensics. So mutations are genetic accidents that occur frequently within the human cells. Some are good, some mutations are good. It can enhance adaptability, but some are also disease-causing, which we call pathogenic mutation. That is totally different from gene modification or gene editing. Yeah? Gene editing is intentionally modifying a gene, a human being intentionally modifying a gene for a certain purpose. Let's say, for example, you have sickle cell anemia. You are modifying the gene that causes that so that you're producing the right proteins. Yeah? Let's say you are modifying TP53 gene, you are deleting the part which has a pathogenic mutation to ensure that, and replacing it with a good one from a person with a good one, to ensure that you're producing the right proteins for the body that do not predispose you to cancer. So genetic modification has been used in the current world. For example, in reversing, let's say, anemia, sickle cell anemia. It's been used in reversing blindness and many other applications. Even within plants, it's been used for producing GMOs. That are early maturing, fast growing, producing vitamin A and the rest. So there's a clear difference between a mutation, which is an accident, but gene modification is very intentional to, let's say, produce a product or to reverse a certain condition.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now that we know that we have a chance at knowing maybe, what could be the dangerous, the dangerous risks that you may have in future, that you can easily get to detect that earlier. I'm sure everyone would love to live a longer life, and not just any kind of life, but a healthy one, You live a longer, healthy life. So where exactly can one go get the whole genome sequencing? Are they done in the country, in Kenya? Are they done in specific hospitals? Just let us in on that.
Okay, that's a good question. Remember, we've talked about a symphony. Not only one test. We have 4 pillars. We have genomics, we have imaging, we have biomarkers in blood, we have liquid biopsy, and then we have AI in analyzing all this data to give results. So these are technology that's with us. Even at the Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences, we have an advanced genomics lab with automated DNA extractors, PCR machine, and a sequencer. We have a portable sequencer the size of this phone. So this technology, DNA sequencing, is already here with us. So you can go to all the big hospitals around. They would offer the tests. You go to all the big laboratories around, they will offer the test. But genome sequencing is different because you are reading out the whole information in you. Yeah. So there are institutions in Kenya, like let's say KEMRI, yeah. We have Aga Khan, yeah. Even within the pharma industry, we have, I don't want to mention them because that's commercial. I come from commercial background, so we have to be very careful when mentioning names. DNA sequencing can be done locally.
Okay.
Yes. And within our program, if let's say you come to Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences, we program you through we do for you whole genome sequencing. Then you go to a clinic and do full body MRI. You go to any government hospital, even Bagadi, Kenyatta, even you can do hematology, whole blood scan.
Yeah.
And then liquid biopsy is what we are talking about, just PCR. During COVID, the liquid biopsy was the first thing. Yeah. So the footprint of PCR machines in this republic is very big. Yeah. So liquid biopsy can be done. Where the rubber meets the road is now analytics and predictive medicine, accurate prediction. Yeah. You can have, there's what we call the accurate area. Are you getting it right or getting it wrong? The technology is there. Look at a case of lung cancer. Yeah, all these technologies are in Kenya, lung cancer. There are certain mutations that are associated, pathogenic and associated with the lung cancer. But you'd also go to a clinic and a doctor diagnoses you with lung cancer. But not all lung cancer treatment protocol requires chemotherapy. You go through chemo, it's very brutal to the body.
Yeah.
So you could find that through genome sequencing, you're able to pick that this mutation, this person X, this patient in Kenya, has this specific mutation, pathogenic mutation for lung cancer. That requires a drug, which is currently there are many and FDA approved. That requires a drug rather than being subjected to chemotherapy for so long and you have a lot of wear and tear for something that should be treated with a drug. You understand? So yes, to our people in the Republic and across the world, whole genome sequencing is here with us. Yeah? And compared to 25 years ago when it was $3 billion, it's going lower. 2026, we could be talking about $100 for a whole genome. Come out and get to know your whole genome, the information in you. And we are looking at a future as Pan-African Institute of Genomic Sciences where we are going to have our own longevity clinics. And longevity clinics is where you walk in like the KFC or Starbucks concept or Java concept, where you walk in within 2 or 4 hours, you have whole information about you everywhere, even in all estates, in villages. So the moment you have, let's say, 5,000 clinics producing biological information, you know your risk early. You pick diseases at stage 0, stage 1. Picture a scenario where all types of cancers can be picked at stage 1 or 2. They would be easily treated.
For sure.
And that's why in our country, I have to say, there's some people who should have not died. Look at the CEO of Safaricom, Bob Collymore, the late Bob Collymore. He died young. Look at the CEO of Apple, Steve Jobs. He died young. The CEO of YouTube, with all that money, people streaming, she died fairly young. at age 58. And so many other people, even Barbara Ilodinga. Yeah? If whole genome sequencing done and predictive, look at Bob Marley. Yeah? Bob Marley died at a very young age. Look at music, the level where music would have been. So ideally, compared with all this, and in contrast, look at most presidents. Why do you think most presidents live into between 90 and 100 years old? It's not only their genes, it's predictive kind of medicine.
Okay.
Yes? And that's why, just by count in Kenya, you look at most presidents, they live longer. In America, you look at if there's a function or if there's a state funeral, the number of presidents that appear, most of them in their 90s, it's not by accident. And this is why we are proposing this symphony kind of predictive medicine. Know it early, be more proactive to ensure that you add 10 or 20 more years to your life, but following technology.
All right, we need to wind up the conversation. That has been an extremely informative conversation, a really, really informative conversation. So thank you for gracing us with your presence and for sharing the information that you've gotten to share with us here today. We're definitely going to plan on having you back, because now I would want to know, can we be able to slow down aging biologically? No, later on, not right now.
Yes.
Maybe that's a conversation that we can have later on, now that we know we can be able to, you know, live longer. Can we live longer looking youthful? That maybe is something that we can look into next time. So I'll end this conversation here. Thank you so much to each and everyone.
Maybe just a word before we close.
Less than 30 seconds?
In less than 30 seconds, we are living in the right generation where there's information and technology. Genomics has come of age. If we predict diseases earlier, we are able to live and identify our risk. We are able to live much longer. Stem cell technology has come of age, where you're just taking your own cells, there's nothing ethical, and using it to treat yourself. Organ replacement, mitochondrial therapy is now real in clinics. Human beings are wired to live for 100+ years. Come to PEGS, let's talk more about how to live 100+. Thank you very much.
Okay, this is where we end it. My name is Vivian Dagwa. Thank you so much to each and every one of you who has been tuning in. We usually do this each and every Tuesday morning where we talk matters health. So you are welcome to join us every single morning. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Goodbye.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Itagundu
Umepanga kuniangamiza kabisa?
Hiyo familia unachukia ni familia yangu.
Nimekuja na kakitu tusherekee.
Doc amesema ukimaliza uende usign contract yako.
Wewe. Hiyo kitu ambacho ulikuwa umechimba hapo toa. Usinipime wazimu wangu.
Kila kitu anatutakia kitamrudia.
Really, I have so many patients. Just go straight to the point. What did I tell you?
Sorry Doc.
Wedi.
Wewe sema kitu imekuleta hapa.
Kitu iko sawa. Karibu sana, karibu kiete kiserikali, unajua haishindwi na jambo lolote.
Mamba alionekana usiku wa kuamkia leo.
Nitagundu wakita.
Picture this. Thousands of people are protesting in your country. You turn on the news and there's no mention of it. Whether it's TV or online, governments in many countries silence unwanted news. How can you get correct and objective information at all times? How can we fight online censorship? This map shows the state of press freedom from green, very good, to red, bad. Europe's rank is good. Still, US Vice President Vance has accused Europe of censorship, claiming that free speech no longer exists here. Why? In the EU, hate speech is legally banned and must be removed. Is that censorship? There are very different opinions on what people should be allowed to say online and